Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up?
What's going on? Release party today for the NFL, huh?
That's
So
right.
that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna kick off some NFL talk. Marcus, new show. Tell us about it real quick. How'd it go?
It went pretty well for a debut show. Of course, I debuted my show, part of Driving to the Top Productions, called SAT Sports, where I talk all things New Orleans Saints, the Houston Astros, and of course the LSU Tigers. Did my debut show last night with Evan and Jamie, and we recapped the 2023 NFL Draft. We also talked a bit about Kim Mulkey signing a couple of hot free agents onto that LSU National Championship team that could be on a quest for a back-to-back appearance. I'm talking about Louis Von Ness and Anessa from DePaul. So yeah, that's pretty big right there. And then my next episode coming out soon, by the way, I'm gonna be talking the Saints 2023 schedule plus the 2023 primetime schedule. All the Thursday night games on Prime, Sunday night on NBC, and then now this Monday night football where every other week or so you get a doubleheader on ABC now all of a sudden.
Well, you looked way more in depth than I did. I just got off work and looked over a couple things.
But I'm actually pulling double duty. I just recorded an episode of the World League podcast available right now on YouTube. And then I just got this last second invite and I was like, yeah, I'll come talk NFL schedule. It's a release party. I drank all my beer, so I'm on Code Red tonight.
Code Red, the Mountain Dew shit.
Yeah, but I rather the voltage or that new summer breeze. But all I got left is Code Red.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, nothing. It's just that's all you got left, and I'm too lazy to go to the store and get some more. Because I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit and talk shit with you guys all day.
Well, that's what we're gonna do.
Oh my
Obviously,
gosh.
Marcus, well, you brought it up. Melissa, how are you?
Hi. I'm doing
We
great.
haven't talked for it feels like forever.
Absolutely. I've missed this. This is fun just shitting and talking sports, especially the NFL.
Um, yeah, I don't even remember. I think the last time we talked was the end of the season. You took a couple weeks off and rejuvenated, right? Ready to go.
Yeah. I need a
Phoenix,
break.
Phoenix is ready to go too. She just wants to play, so you're probably gonna hear her ground the whole time.
She has like some kind of alarm. Whenever it's about to go live, that's when she's most active.
Um, so who wants to start things off? Steelers, Niners, Week 1 in Acrisure Stadium. Should be a good one. Who are we going to see, Melissa? Are we going to see Sam Darnold? Are we going to see Trey Lance? Or are we going to see Brock?
I wish it's Trey Lance. I want it to be Trey Lance. I've been dying for Trey Lance to get a legitimate, like, real shot where there's no injuries, there's no Jimmy, there's no nothing in the background to be like haunting him. But I could not tell you how my team's going to be doing by week 1. All I know is Brock Purdy got the lesser surgery. They keep telling me that certain amount of weeks he'll be throwing again, and it feels like he's rushing it just so he can try to steal back the starting job. And I have no idea what the hell my team's doing at quarterback, aside from me finally getting rid of the obnoxious 10 of finally and forever. So
Marcus, you're Week 1. You got the Titans.
Yep. Week 1, we're taking on Ryan Tannehill if he's still the quarterback, or if they end up putting Will Levis at quarterback for the Titans by the end. Depends who gets that job. Yeah, they're going to take on now Derek Carr and the New Orleans Saints. So we got a new quarterback, and he even got a new running back in Jamal Williams, too, the former Detroit Lion.
dang it, now I'm going to root for your team.
And then, of course, with new targets too, still waiting to hear about Michael Thomas. But don't forget, we still got Traquan Smith. We still got Rashid Shaheed, Brian Edwards, Chris Olave, A.T. Perry, Jarvis Landry, Traquan Smith.
I'm just gonna ask. I was just gonna ask her. You're in the Bay or the Bayou, right?
Yeah.
Kind of connection is Carr working out with Olave? Are they getting a connection here, or
Supposedly it's good so far. I mean, haven't gotten any training camp. I mean, it's still a few more months before training camp, but what I'm looking at, they're happy that he's there, and I think it's going to be a work. I think it's going to be a great connection. I think that'll probably be his main target. Could be Olave.
is Michael Thomas going to come back? I got him on my dynasty team.
I really hope so. I mean, I've kind of lost hope with Alvin Kamara right now, but I believe Michael Thomas could come back.
Alvin Kamara didn't go to jail.
Shockingly, no. But I don't know how old this was, but I saw Lynch got pulled over sleeping in his car in Vegas. Was it Marshawn Lynch?
Well, he wasn't driving, right?
Like he was in the driver's seat, passed out. But they said that was 3 months ago. And then I hear the jokes, a true Raider and stuff.
Oh, is that why? Is that why he took the job? No. So this is after it. This is after the season.
And on top of that, we just also signed a tight end. So we got Foster Moreau. Speaking of the Raiders, we got the former Las Vegas Raider himself and a former LSU Tiger and a Louisiana native. Foster Moreau has come back home. So Derek Carr got another target to throw to.
Derek Carr sounds like you kind of told him to come here.
I think he's going to be the top veteran QB in the NFC right now. Because, Aaron Rodgers is now with the Jets.
Right.
So Derek Carr might be that top veteran QB in the NFC now.
What about Dak?
Who? Not he. Not her. Or Dak.
I was just looking at names that's been around the league.
I'll tell you what. One thing we'll all three have in common, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other people too. We hate Dallas. I don't think there's any Cowboys fans in this group chat we have. Everyone else I know is Browns fans, Ravens, Bills. Who else? I know Matt's a Ravens fan, Evan's a Browns fan, Jamie's a Bills fan. You got Melissa who's a Niners, you're a Steelers guy, I'm a Saints guy. I don't think we have any Cowboys fans in that group chat that I know.
I could get one.
Don't get Logan. No Logan.
Oh.
No Logan.
Logan's awesome. Oh, Logan's a horrible Dallas fan. He's so funny though. He just doesn't. He lives right outside. He lives close to Dallas, Marcus, and yeah. So if you ever need someone for St. Louis, let me know. The Cardinals.
For baseball. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Marcus, I'm on your page. Week 2, looks like you're at Carolina.
Yeah, and it's a Monday night game, and we only have 3 primetime games this year. That's the only Monday night game we have, plus we have 2 Thursday night games, one in October and one in December we'll get to. But yeah, the first of 2 matchups between Derek Carr and Bryce Young. I think it's going to be that's one of them underrated division rivals. When you think of the NFC South, everyone talks about the Saints and the Falcons. They only talked Saints and Tampa Bay when Brady was there, but Carolina and the Saints is usually a toss-up. It's every season we always share the series. It's not often one or the other sweeps each other, but it's if we win that first game, 9 times out of 10 they'll win the last meeting, just like what happened last year. We took Carolina in week 3, and then they came and I was at that game, last game of the regular season, and we just played like dog crap, and they beat us with a field goal with 2 seconds left. So it doesn't surprise me, but I'm looking forward to seeing hopefully a hell of a series down the road in the near future with Bryce Young and Derek Carr.
Well, isn't that mostly because the Carolina Panthers really haven't been a fixture in the playoffs since 2015? And so that way it's kind of swung towards your other divisional opponents?
Well, I don't see – I'm going to give Carolina a couple of seasons before they become an actual playoff contender and stuff. They might make it their first year, but it's a lot. What's up, Jamie?
Marcus,
yeah,
getting comments.
I had fun with Jamie and Evan, even though Evan had to leave a tad bit, but Jamie stayed for the whole thing. I know they said they were talking the XFL tonight or the USFL.
Not that I'm aware of. I would have been involved in that.
Which I'm calling DC wins that because If
You don't think Arlington has a chance?
man, fuck them right now. I'm pissed they beat the Roughnecks like that, and I'm like, that game's gonna be such a flop. DC's gonna win by 50. They're gonna bring that beer snake to San Antonio.
You know, I am taking the underdog. I'm taking Arlington. I want to see Devion Smith get a championship after all the shit he went through with the USFL last year, the whole Pizzagate with the ballers and everything else.
I'll tell you who's gonna win the USFL this year: the Breakers.
Dude, they're on fire right now.
I know. I need to start watching them.
You need to join us Tuesday night, Marcus.
I know I need to, but usually I'm with my old lady.
Oh
and
well,
shit.
yeah. I'm not getting in that battle.
Usually with her, if I'm not watching NXT or shit.
Oh my god.
Melissa, back to week 2. You have the Rams at LA.
Oh, I like that rivalry. Northern California versus Southern California.
Yeah, they actually had the audacity to storm San Francisco last year with flags made to call it SoFi North. Like, they were that brazen to do that last year. They're just ridiculous fans.
If I had to choose to go to either San Francisco or Los Angeles, I'd rather go to San Francisco.
Okay, but Marcus, I don't know if you've ever heard the story, but when they won the Super Bowl like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah,
They actually had to go down to like the city and pay people wearing Raiders gear to wear Rams gear for their parade. That's how little Ram fans there were out there. And then yet, like, every podcast that ever even talked anything near the Rams, you have like 15 just like little trolls like stalk all the other shows about the Rams.
When y'all played the Rams in the NFC Championship game that year, didn't they had more Niners fans in SoFi Stadium? They had more red than blue. I believe it.
For all 3 games that year, it got so bad that
cut the crowd noise too.
It got so bad that year that Melissa Whitworth and whatever the fuck Kelly Stafford tried to like embargo that only Niner fans that lived in the LA area could go to that game because they were trying to like absolutely like shut up all the Niner fans that wanted to pay for the championship game.
I got quite a bit of friends down here who are Niners fans because they grew up watching. They loved Steve Young when they were kids.
Yeah.
And then we got a boy who grew up not far from me. He plays for the 49ers.
Oh, that's cool.
You heard of him, Elijah Mitchell?
I love Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah, his town's about 25, 30 miles from me.
I am one of the very few fans that loved him the second he was drafted, and when everybody else is kind of like sort of turned on him because you know he's had like injuries. I've never waved off the Elijah Mitchell train. Like that's like one of my favorite players, and I'm still like shocked the way that he like persevered his rookie year and made them a dynamic team that got into the playoffs. Because I mean, everybody wants to give the credit to Deebo Samuel that year, but Elijah was just like, especially in that Colts game, that like monsoon game, like, oh, I could go on forever about Elijah Mitchell.
Well, also forgot y'all have Sam Darnold. Also, I forgot he went to the Niners.
Yes, he did. He's back home.
But y'all even got an LSU boy on y'all team. Y'all got Tyron Davis-Price.
Mm-hmm.
TPP.
I like him. And y'all got Christian McCaffrey. Y'all got Jordan Mason. I love Jordan Mason. Brandon Ayuk. I love Ayuk. He was on my fantasy team last year.
You know, it's nice to actually hear someone give respect to Brandon Ayuk because it feels like everyone has like the Kittle fandom or the Deebo fandom or the Christian McCaffrey fandom, and they just like completely forget Ayuk or Jawan Jennings even exists.
Yeah, Jawan, that's another good one too. So, but have you ever been in SoFi or even Old Candlestick Park?
The only stadium that I've been to for an NFL team has been MetLife.
So you got to see the Niners play against the Jets or the Giants, huh?
No, the last 2 years I've gone to the draft night, so I've got to actually like walk on the field and like meet players there and stuff. But I've never
Oh,
been to an
nice.
actual game.
I've only been in
So
4 NFL stadiums, and only 3 were for games.
Okay, what
um,
stadiums
Been in
have you
this.
been to, Mark?
Of course, I've been to the Superdome for Saints games, LSU games, high school state championships, concerts, WrestleMania twice. Been to NRG Stadium in Houston a shitload of times. One Texans game, one LSU game, a bunch of rodeos, and one WrestleMania. And of course, I've been to AT&T Stadium in Dallas for one LSU game and one WrestleMania. That was a 2-night event. And then when I was on
Wasn't
vacation,
there like 135,000 people at that WrestleMania?
the first time they went, yeah, but I didn't go the first year they went. I went when they went last year, and they said they had 77,000 one night and 78,000 the second night, and I'm like, it looks like it's 100,000. And then I
Well, you
snuck
need
in
to talk to Matt and Josh because they're going to Philly next year for WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, Lincoln Financial Field. That's gonna be good. And I've also been into, I don't know what it's called now, but it used to be Paul Brown Stadium for Cincinnati. When I was on vacation, I managed to sneak into the stadium through the gift shop, and I took a shot of the stadium. I was like, "This is about to be Joe Burrow's home," and this was in November of 2019. So I was like, "This is about to be Joe Burrow's home." I snuck in, took a shot, and got the hell out of Dodge.
that's awesome.
I love it.
I tried to do the same with the Great American Ballpark, but that park was on fucking lockdown. But I got to see it over the bridge when I got into Cincinnati from Kentucky. So I got to see the inside of it, but I wasn't inside it.
I've never been inside the Great Ballpark either. So Melissa, week 3, you get the home opener on Monday Night Football. It looks like,
Yep, against the Giants.
and you'll be able to watch it for the first time in a while. Melissa
I
doesn't
will
get a
be
lot of Niner games at home, Marcus.
Oh,
no.
yeah.
I am either cursed with Chiefs games, Packer games, or Patriot games. Although seeing now that Aaron Rodgers is a Jets game, maybe that cuts down the Packer games I get. Maybe. And of course Cowboys, because I think Cowboys is just like thrown in there for anywhere in the country for some ridiculous reason. But I'm looking forward to that game. Especially because I am waiting for my defense, especially my linebackers, just to like pound on Saquon Barkley nonstop for like 60 minutes.
Melissa, real quick, are any of these rookie linebackers that we drafted going to start?
Who, you or me?
You.
I think if they play, they might be used in like some kind of like weird like defensive end or like kind of like blitzing package. Especially now that we have Steve Wilkes, I think he's gonna like really mess up and change the way we blitz and how much we blitz and how we attack teams. So that's one of the things. Like I'm wondering if he's gonna like use somebody like he used to use like Jeremy Chin in the secondary for the Cardinals. So, or sorry, the Panthers. But yeah, it should be interesting.
Marcus, then you get. Are you going to go to Lambeau? Are you going to catch a flight and go see your boys in week 3?
Well, I would love to go to Lambeau Field.
I've
But
never been there. Let me know.
I would have went in 2015, but I didn't go that year. They went over there and played Wisconsin and they lost. But I had some buddies that went, but I'm glad. I would love to go. If I ever go to Lambeau, I want to go when it's freezing ass cold, see if I can handle that freezing cold weather and go buy a cheese to put on my head. Because a little backstory, while I was growing up being a Saints fan, I was a big fan of Brett Favre. So I was
he's from your neck of the woods.
He's from Mississippi, St. Louis, Mississippi, which is about 4 hours away. Played for Southern Miss in Hattiesburg. But yeah, Yeah, but this is a different Packers team now. No Aaron Rodgers. I think Jordan Love could be QB1, but then you also got Danny Etling, who's a former LSU Tiger, in the quarterback position, and they also have Sean Clifford. You got A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones, Jeff Cotton, Romeo
How are
Doubs,
you
Bo
leaving out
Melton.
Watson? How are you leaving out Watson?
I don't know.
Christian
I
Watson.
don't.
Wide receiver, number 9.
Christian Watson, yeah. I mean, I was gonna save the best for last. I mean, I might scout him on my fantasy team too. I mean, I was gonna start naming more people, but you were like, you left him out. I didn't even get to him yet. I saved him best for last.
All right, well, I'll let you slide. I'll let you slide on that.
But I always love when
they got Romeo Doubs too.
I have a love-hate relationship when these two teams play each other because that's like the 1 week of the season, whether if it's at Lambeau or if it's in New Orleans. People are going to blow my phone up. Oh, who you root for Sunday? I hope you're going to wear the black and gold. Or like, no, you're going to give us bad luck. You might as well put on that fucking Brett Favre jersey you had since freaking 1997. And I'm like, no, it's not that old. The year he got inducted in the Hall of Fame, I found a old school classic Brett Favre Reebok jersey on Amazon,
That's
and I bought it. I still have it. It's in my closet, but it's like you can tell by the material. It's not Nike. It's Reebok.
Does it mesh?
Yes, I'm actually gonna go get it when I'm done talking. But I can't root against the Saints anymore, but I always said if the game was at Lambeau, I would be fine if the Packers won. But if they play in New Orleans, I'm always going to pick the Saints. I never pick against the Saints at home.
We'll go get it. Let's see
All
it.
right, I'll be back.
Let's see some experimental here.
That's funny. The one jersey that I shared with my sibling happened to be a Reebok mesh jersey.
A Green Bay?
Now it was a Tiki Barber jersey because my dad wanted us to be Giant fans so badly. Yep.
I was a Jason Sehorn fan.
Oh my god!
I on Madden they ranked him like a 99. I don't know why.
Oh my god! Like the one
then
player
you had
that
Tiki Barber, and I mean, I don't know. I didn't mind being the Giants in video games. For some reason, they were always good. I don't know why.
the one player that my father loved the most though was Tuck.
Okay, do you want to see the front or the back?
Both, absolutely both.
Look, okay. Remember the holes?
Yes.
That's old school right there. Look, it's. Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
I know, like I miss seeing all these holes that you don't see anymore, especially on all the Nike. Like upgraded all my Saints jerseys, like they're all Nike now. But I got tired of buying players because 9 times out of 10, every jersey I've owned outside of Drew Brees, that player got traded or got released. So I'm like, I don't want to buy fucking jerseys anymore. But then I wanted to start buying them.
Okay.
That's why someone told me a long time ago, if you're gonna buy a jersey, make sure that player is gonna be a Hall of Famer.
Well, I still have my Drew Brees jersey. It just don't fit me no more. Waiting to put it in a shadow box. So now I went on DHgate and got me I got the home, the way, and the color rush. It's just a number 1, and on the back it says "Who Dat." That's all I need.
You didn't get your own name, Mark?
I should have did no name, or I should have put my initials M. Hay, but I was like, no, because that's Marquez Callaway's number, and then I don't want some drunk to come up to me and be like, that's Marquez Callaway. That ain't. Who the fuck is Hay? I'm Hay, goddammit. I'm number 1.
I think that's appropriate that you wear Who Dat, but if you wore that to like a Bengals game, I'm sure you're gonna be stuck with a bunch of Who Dat.
If I go to a Bengals game, I'm wearing my Joe Burrow jersey.
Right. The LSU jersey, right?
I have his LSU jersey where it's spelt Burrow like French, and I have his color rush one. I want to buy a black one, and I want to buy a Jamar Chase orange one. I just never bought it yet.
Nice.
I thought you'd want to get the white one.
I love the white. The white
white
Bengals. The white
I meant
Bengal jersey.
Bengal jersey.
Yeah, I have that one. That's their Color Rush one. I have that. That's
Oh, is that
the
their
only
Color
one I
Rush?
have.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
I
And
love that.
the one-
I hate white jerseys, but that white Bengals jersey, the first time they debuted that was like something perfect. And then they made like all like
I
the
don't like
symbols
how
in
they
the end
put the
zones
orange in
all white.
in the lettering of
What do y'all
the
think
name.
of the Saints' alternative helmets? The black, and then they have these little furlies in the front.
I
like
don't
the
like
black.
I like the side. I don't like the little thing down the
Yeah,
thing.
that was unnecessary, but I love the black helmet. They need to wear these with their black jerseys and black paint combination. That would be
You know, if
busted.
it feels like Nike cannot just like do color rush. Like they always have to force some kind of extra color or some like extra kind of like thing to everything they do.
Mhm.
What did the Saints do for Color Rush? I missed
You
it.
guys wear the all
bef-
blacks.
No. Before those helmets came out, it's the white jerseys that's got those like striped sleeves on the side that's like gold and black stripes, and on their pants they have the racing stripes going down. You'd have to let me see if I can, but now they adopted the alternative helmet with the Color Rush look, and everyone loves it. I'm gonna try and pop it up for y'all.
I think
See
I've
what
seen
y'all-
you guys do all blacks and all whites.
Like all the pictures I'm mainly getting or with the gold helmets before they adopted the actually here's a shot. This was when they played in London last year. This is that look.
Yeah.
With
I like that jersey.
And the pants have stripes too. Like I don't know if you can see the that's when they had them with the gold helmets, but I want to see them wear them black helmets with their black jersey, black pant attire. That would like a blackout, like a midnight night out. That'd be so cool.
You clicking that one in, Melissa, or you want me to?
You can.
Throwback
Hi,
saying
Fernando.
what's up. Where'd he go?
I don't know.
Did you hit show too?
I started. I tried putting it up there. It didn't come on. Anyway, you
So
guys still
Marcus,
have.
week 4, you have the ex Tom Brady team.
We got the ex Tom Brady team, but it's now Baker Mayfield's team. So Mayfield and Carr twice a season. Give me a hell yeah.
This is where I need Evan.
The only question is the only thing I'll compare, quarterbacks, you got Derek Carr versus Baker Mayfield. Wide receiver Chris Olave versus Mike Evans. Holy crap, that's going to be good. Now,
big matchup.
Running back wise, I mean, I know Tampa Bay, they got Chase Edmonds and Patrick Laird, Keyshawn Vaughn, Rashad White. Then they also got Sean Tucker and Ronnie Brown, which, yeah, I mean, they're going to compete with Jamal Williams. Come on now. Or Kendry Miller, if we still have Alvin Kamara still on the team. Get that twice a season.
I still can't believe you guys got Jamal Williams. Like, that kills my soul. Like, that was like the one Packer like I could root for that stood healthy and I actually liked. And then he became a Lion, which made me like him more. And then he's like the rushing leader last year at touchdowns, and he got like no respect, and now he's a Saint.
Uh-huh.
And the Niners and Saints are not friendly.
It's all good, Niners.
Now I'm gonna have to root for the Saints now because Jamal Williams.
Hey,
there you go. Now you might be getting a Niner fan to get a Saints jersey, Marcus.
Well, back in the
I'm not buying anything from them. No.
I know. I mean, the Saints and the Niners used to have a long history back in the day when they were in the same division. When the Saints used to be in the NFC West, but the West was so weird back then. It was the Niners, the Saints, the Falcons, and then there was a fourth team. Carolina wasn't a team at the time. I think it wasn't even Dallas.
Well, remember Phoenix used to be in the Giants, Redskins, and Philadelphia division.
I thought the NFC East was always the same 4 teams: Giants, Cowboys,
It
Eagles,
was
and
because Jerry Jones wanted the four big
or was it
cities
the
together.
no? It was the Rams. It was Saints, Falcons, Rams, Niners. That was the NFC West back in the like 80s and the early 90s before they moved the Saints to the South and everything.
Yeah,
That's what it
so when
was.
when they redid the divisions, they wanted to kick Dallas back to like either the West or the South, and he said no, I'm going to stay on the East Coast with all the big cities. So that's Philadelphia, Washington, and New York. So
Because they had Tampa Bay Tampa Bay was like in a whole nother division with like other teams in the NFC back in the day. I don't remember who the other 3 were, but they went with the Saints.
it was with Packers and
Wow, they messed that. I think
the,
they messed that whole league up back in the day. But I think it was like NFC Central. They had like a
yeah.
Central, a West, a North. I'm assuming. I don't like. I remember the Packers, Bears, Vikings, and the Lions were always a thing.
I don't think that division's ever changed those 4.
Do you still have Juwan Johnson as a Saint?
Oh yes, we still got Juwan Johnson.
Yeah, it got me really mad is when Juwan Jennings got the touchdown versus your team last year, and everybody who was doing the broadcast got it wrong and said Juwan Johnson all week long talking about that game. It's like, come on, like you shut up the Saints. Like we finally got revenge for how many years did we have to hear about Drew Brees and all his crippling injuries versus the Niners, and now you can't even get the player's name right.
The only thing that pissed me off was we lost David Onyemata to the Falcons. But that's why we drafted Isaiah Foskey out of Notre Dame. He's going to take Onyemata's place.
Melissa, week 4, no Cal Murray. Get the I'm guessing the 4:00 game, 4:30 game, 4:25. What do you think?
I have a big question mark against that game because I don't know if they're gonna have Buda Baker for that game. I don't know if they're gonna have Zach Ertz for that game. I don't know if they're gonna have DeAndre Hopkins for that game. So, and I think didn't they like hire the defensive coordinator from the Eagles this year as their head coach? So like, I have no idea what the frick the Cardinals are gonna be this year.
I don't think they're going to be all that.
My only hope is that every time I go into a Cardinals game, I don't see George Kittle have his knees blown out. Like that's my one like fear ever since Buda Baker and George Kittle happened in 2019.
I can't believe I left.
I cannot watch those games without like trepidation the whole game because of all those freaking hospital balls from Jimmy Garoppolo.
All them Niners I named, I forgot George Kittle. Shame on me.
Well, defenses forget about him too. Then it gets wide open.
Uh-huh. That's what.
So, Adam, can we talk about any of your Steelers games so far? You haven't talked about over one.
Yeah. You got 4 weeks to catch up.
Well, Niners week 1, I know that.
Okay.
I don't really know what to think of the Steeler team right now. I really don't. I mean, the projections came out today. We're scheduled to be in last place with 9 wins.
In your division or just like the whole like
in the division?
Okay.
It's the Ravens were projected at 10. The Browns were projected at 10.5. I'm not sure how they got a half. And then the Bengals were projected to win it with 11 wins.
Okay, so you're telling me the Browns are above both of your teams?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Hey, Kenny Pickett or Mitchell Trubisky as QB1?
Kenny Pickett.
The Pitt guy. Okay. Let's see. I mean, y'all still got Najee Harris. Y'all still got Jaylen Warren. Y'all still got
Jaylen Warren might be the starter by week 4 if Najee Harris is not performing well.
let's see, like I'm trying to think of wide receivers. Y'all still got
Pickens.
Des
You got
Fitzpatrick,
Pickens,
Deontay
Deontay Johnson, Allen Robinson.
Cody White, Gunner, Bradley,
Speaking,
Jamarcus Bradley. Y'all still got him too.
speaking of somebody you snuck in there, Adam, I've been meaning to ask you. Do you
I don't know how I
actually?
feel about. I don't know how I feel about this pickup of Allen Robinson yet. He's been injured a lot. But he really, I mean, that Chicago, they were a mess. Go to LA, you win a Super Bowl. The
He wasn't
second
part of the
year
Super.
with no,
He
with
was
no
not part of the
quarter-
Super Bowl team. He was part of the barely 4-win team last year.
I
If
thought
it
Allen
makes you
Robinson got a Super Bowl with them.
No, that was
if it makes you
Beckham.
feel better, if it makes you feel better, y'all beat us last year because we blew it.
You just wanted to see Tomlin hit the 500 record.
I'm talking no, like I got blown up about that freaking loss to the Steelers, like out the ass, and it pissed me off. I think
Is TJ Watt going to be healthy for week 1? And
I hope.
I hope we get a Bosa Watt matchup. It'd be awesome.
what's the other one? Minka
Um,
Fitzpatrick. Didn't he also get hurt at the end of last year?
I haven't seen anything.
Isn't the other Watt still with the Chargers?
Derek-
JJ retired. Derek Watt
Yeah.
became a Steeler, and then
Derek Watt is a free
TJ
agent
Watt.
still.
Oh, yeah. So TJ's not with the Chargers. No, I forgot he was a free agent.
Yeah, I really want to see TJ Watt versus Trent Williams or
That
Aaron
would be-
Banks.
yeah, that'd be good too.
I'm dying for that matchup.
Well, I mean,
And-
I'm just. Go ahead.
And I've also been dying to see Drake Greenlaw and Fred Warner versus Najee Harris.
The West Coast boys.
Yeah, that Alabama. See, that year he got drafted, I figured it was going to be out of him or Travis, who was going to be the first running back to go, but it was Najee. Because I had Travis going to the Steelers, but no, Najee went to the Steelers and Travis went to the Jags.
ETN.
Yeah, ETN, HN, everyone says his name different.
I have no idea. I just tried to pronounce it correct.
All
right.
So week 2 versus for the Steelers.
Week 2 versus the Browns. At home, it looks like.
Okay.
On Monday Night Football. Listen, Tomlin is a genius on in the spotlight. I think we can beat the Browns.
Okay.
I hope. I hope. That'd be sad if y'all did.
Well, the Browns are scheduled to be second in the division.
I can't wait till they play the Bengals. That's going to be a hell of a series when they play twice. It's going to be 2 good games.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm more impressed at how they figure the whole AFC North is going to be at 8 and above wins, the whole division.
I don't even remember the last time all 4 would make the playoffs.
I have
Well, I
a
guess-
theory about that.
I don't know. Is it humanly possible all 4 can make the playoffs?
I mean,
they got the
Technically,
two wild cards, but that's it.
there's 3 wild cards.
now, with 3 now, it's a possibility. Didn't that happen with there was one division, all 4 teams made it.
No, last year 3 of the 4 East teams made it because the Commanders choked at the end of the year.
Yeah, but I'm not saying
But
the
for
NFC
a few weeks, for a few weeks, it was close for them to make all 4 of them into the playoffs.
I swear there was like one team like last year or 2 years ago, like all 4 teams made it. And I remember if it was, I don't think it was the NFC West. I thought it was the end, but it wasn't that because the Cardinals had a crappy turnout. Oh shoot, definitely wasn't the NFC South.
If anything, it had to be the NFC East because the
No, because
Packers had a win on Monday night or Sunday Night Football against the Lions to get in the playoffs, and the Lions beat them.
Because whichever 4 teams that made it, 2 of those 4 played each other in a wild card. The other one played a whole nother team, and the other one had a bye.
Well, it had to be Philly with the bye, and then the Giants played the Cowboys.
Then it was Washington. That was when Washington had Heineke. So it was the NFC East.
No, Heineke was 2020 when they lost to Brady on his way to winning a Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't Heineke at quarterback. It wasn't Brissett at quarterback, huh? No, Jacoby was still with the Colts at the time, huh?
Jacoby was with the Browns last year before Deshaun Watson came off of suspension.
Okay. I'm trying to think who was the quarterback for Washington at the time.
Last year, the Commanders
Not
didn't
last
make the
year.
playoffs.
2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Okay, 2 years ago was
I thought it was Heineke who
it was Alex
I thought
Smith. It was Alex Smith. It was PJ Walker and I think Taylor Heineke, and I'm drawing a blank on like their 4th quarterback.
I remember there was one Washington playoff game. Heineke was the quarterback, and they won the playoff game. I thought it was 2 years ago, but it might have been during the pandemic then. I don't remember.
I'm trying to remember. I have no idea.
Sad I can remember all the wrestling in the world, but I can't remember all the football in the world. Football is just a different mind game. But I mean, if you're talking, what was it now? Week 4? If you're talking week 4, I know we got the Patriots.
I'm talking week 3 right now with the Raiders.
Oh, you're still catching up.
I am catching up. Steelers play a Sunday night game. I mean, a Monday night game, and then they're in Vegas for a Sunday night game.
So it's back-to-back primetime games.
Yeah.
Don't you hate that? Like, you'd have a Sunday night game, and then you have to go a whole week, an extra day without watching them again, because then they'll have a Monday night game, or it's even worse. They'll have a Monday night game one week, so you don't watch them on a Sunday, and then the next week they have a Thursday night game, and you can't watch them, and then they have like a bye week after that.
Correct.
I've seen teams like that. Like the Chiefs did shit like that. I've seen the Eagles do some shit like that.
Cowboys always do shit like that, but they always have
the Steelers should win this game.
Cowboys always have the most prime time. Like, we don't
but
care.
like Cowboys always do that thing where they have like that weird thing where they have either the week before or the week after Thanksgiving as a Thursday night game, plus they have the Thursday night game on Thanksgiving, and it's the weirdest shit in the world.
I don't know who the Cowboys got week 1, but it's like week 1, they always got to have like that first Sunday night game of the season or that first Monday night game. And it's usually they open up again. I remember when they used to open up against the Giants all the time. Like, it's
again.
Yeah, I was going to say, they open up against the Giants on Monday Night Football.
But
also, it is Monday night.
But it's actually going to be at MetLife this year instead of at Jerry World.
Okay, so yeah, but it's like the Cowboys always got a primetime game week 1, and then they have another like week 3, and then 4. Then it'd be like week 9 for they have like a Thursday night one, and then like towards the end of after Thanksgiving they have like that Thursday night game close to Christmas. Or
the Cowboys and Giants are the Sunday night game on Sunday night of opening week.
Yep.
Well, I'll be rooting for the Giants.
And then the Giants, then Danny Dimes and Aaron Rodgers go at it in week 2.
Wait, Giants and Jets?
In week 2, yep.
Is it prime time or is it a noon kickoff?
It's a 4:25 game.
Oh, so it might be America's game of the week. So it'll be a 3:25. I bet you I'll catch it. Like that America's game of the week. I bet you because the Saints have a Monday night game that week 2. So I guarantee you we're gonna catch that game. If we don't catch the damn Cowboys game, because we always catch Cowboys games if they're playing like at 3:00. Like if the Saints are at noon, we're gonna catch that Cowboys game at 3:00 because I probably watched more Cowboys games just as much as I watched the Saints last year, but I always like to watch them lose.
That's gonna be an interesting week for me because either they're gonna be on CBS or Fox, and then I have no idea what the hell is gonna be on the other channel then.
Well, I like to if when I'm not watching the Saints on TV, I like to watch other teams. But I have Red Zone. That's what I watch.
I can't stand Scott Hansen.
Do you have it
I
on the
really,
YouTube or do you
really
get it on
can't.
Comcast?
I have it on DirecTV.
I keep up with that. I love the Red Zone. You watch
Well,
all
I
the
mean,
little games in the
yeah,
little side.
now when the Saints are playing, I kind of like focus on that. Now if they go to commercial break, I'll put on Red Zone because it's the best thing to watch if you're playing fantasy football. That's like the go-to.
Yes,
That's
sir.
that's how I get to watch all the big plays and the big moments and all the fights and shit. Now, when it's 3:00, usually I'm watching America's Game of the Week, the whole thing. But if there's like other games I want to watch, then I'll put on Red Zone. But Sunday Night Football, I'm watching that, especially over wrestling. I'll watch wrestling the next day. Monday Night Football, I'm usually flipping with Raw. Thursday night, I don't really watch Thursday night games a lot unless if the Saints are playing. But I hate the whole contracting with Prime Video, and now they got this contract with YouTube now.
The Red Zone?
Yes.
Yes.
I think it's stupid.
And they did lose it with Comcast for a while, but apparently Comcast got it back.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much it cost at YouTube. Did anyone look into that?
No, because I don't have YouTube TV.
I don't either. That's why I didn't look into it. Week 4, Steelers at Houston at NRTG.
Are you talking about the Sunday ticket thing?
That's DirecTV, right?
Yeah, but I don't. I remember back in the day that first week.
You think you're gonna play CJ Stroud?
CJ Stroud will be QB1, or I think he is QB1. I'm gonna say this: all them picks the Texans had, they better be in a playoff contender after having 11 draft picks.
I don't know.
Melissa, your old coach gonna do any good?
Like I might just consider saying
I'm
going to Houston for that game.
I mean, they did do some trading up.
I have faith in DeMeco Ryans. I think he's gonna do a hell of a. I think he's gonna do a hell of a lot better than Robert Saleh. I think he has a better temperament for it, and he's in a better city away from the New York media. But I don't trust the Houston ownership or their front office. I mean, they've gone through 2 coaches in 2 years already, and who's not to say that DeMeco's not going to get screwed this year too. So, like, I want the best for him, but at the same time, I just don't trust the Texans.
I don't know. The Steelers' defense always does good against rookie quarterbacks. I'm just going to leave it at that.
They said the same thing about Tom Brady versus rookie quarterbacks last year, and look how that worked out for him when he faced Brock Purdy in the Niners. So
I get it. I was just talking about the defense. I wasn't talking about quarterback against quarterback.
No, I was just saying, like, I love when people throw shit out like that, and then like one day it's gonna get broken. Like, it's not like maybe now or even in the next year or so, but it's like every time they say, "Oh, no quarterback is ever gonna lead a team to a Super Bowl," like eventually that's gonna happen.
Since I'm on the Steelers page, the rivalry week starts week 5 against the Ravens. I'm sure me and Matt will be ramping shit up.
I always enjoy that rivalry too. Ravens.
It feels like that rivalry's died though a little bit since the NFL's gotten softer on all the hard hitting and everything else.
Oh, concussion protocols and all that.
I miss the black and blue games. Like, that was like the one great thing to watch about the AFC North. The Steelers and the Ravens just being ever loving piss out of each other.
Like Ben Roethlisberger said, it would take 2 weeks just to recover from a Ravens game.
Like,
y'all should have a bye at least after that first meeting. And
I saw that. I was just gonna start talking about that.
Like if it's that bad, y'all should always have a bye after the first meeting, and then y'all should always end the season with them in case if y'all don't make the playoffs, and y'all can just completely recover from all the pain.
I don't like it. I don't like the early buy. I like the later buy.
Now, quick
We
question.
got a mid bye this year. I know that. Last year we had like a week 14
A
bye.
quick
I'm like, what
question.
the hell?
Well, it's
What you
good
got?
if you guys are in playoff contention. It's great to get that little rest.
We wasn't playoff contention
Adam,
last
quick
year.
question.
Yeah.
You kind of were until like the last 3 weeks of the year, but that's besides the point. Adam, do you think that it's going to be different this year now that Greg Roman is out of Baltimore? Do you think they actually use something besides Mark Andrews versus the Steelers?
This Ravens team is going to be. They're going to be decent.
Adam, can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you guys not hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Melissa, you can't hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh. I think this Raven team is going to be pretty decent.
I can hear you.
Okay. And I don't know. I don't know if Lamar Jackson, he's the broken toy yard sale pickup of the month. Right? Is that the question? Are they going to utilize anyone else but Mark Andrews, the Ravens?
Start at us.
Right? Was that the
'cause
question now?
I feel like that's always what they go to, especially in like divisional games. It's like Lamar
Yeah, but
or Mark Andrews, and yeah,
the Ravens have
Yes.
not really had wide receivers like OBJ or they haven't really had anything worth double teaming on the outside. So I don't know. I hate talking good about the damn Ravens. It's just me. Especially during that week, it's really hard. It's like talking good about the Rams during a Niner Ram week. It's not a good week.
No, the one team I can never talk well about, no matter what week it is this freaking Seahawks. I will hate the Seahawks to the day I die.
Why?
Let's see, because they are a bunch of disgusting, atrocious.
Yeah, but they don't have that. They don't have that guy anymore.
Beyond. I'm not talking about Russ Wilson. I'm talking about the fans. I'm talking about what they did to Navarro Bowman in the championship game. I'm talking about how the Seattle Seahawks have been a thorn in our side for over a decade. I'm talking about just complete hatred and despise and disgust when it comes to that fan base. Like, there's not a nice, pleasant thing I can say about a Seahawks fan or a Seahawks player or Pete Carroll and his chewing gum. Like that's the worst.
Are they worse than Eagles fans?
They are worse. Okay, so I don't know if you ever watched the game, but that 2013 championship game when it was the Niners and the Seahawks in Seattle, like Navarro Bowman got hurt after holding onto the ball for like over 2 minutes at the bottom of the pile. And as they're loading him up onto the cart to get off, right? Because like they gave the ball to the Seahawks. They didn't have that rule yet to overturn it or to whatever they decided the Navarro Bowman rule was. So they were loading him up, and all the Seahawk fans are like throwing their trash and like glass bottles and everything else while he's being carted off and saying a bunch of shit to him. And that was like my breaking point. Like, it was like so beyond unforgivable what they did to him, and that they saw it for over 3 minutes on the podcast that he had the ball the whole time, and they still gave it to Seattle. And then on top of all of that, right? Like it baffled me the way they had to constantly replay the injury. Like they did it slow mo, they did it in reverse, they did it like sped up. It's like every time you had to see his knee bend and break, and it's just like it haunted me for years. Like I can never ever ever like I'd rather root for any other team but the Seattle Seahawks any given week.
Marcus, do you have any other teams you would root
I
for?
just can't with them.
Well, outside of the Cincinnati Bengals, I used to have a little. I mean, Houston's being my city. Oh, she left. I just realized she left.
She'll be back. She hit that back button. I know she did.
Houston being my city and all, I have kind of a love-hate relationship with the Texans. They used to be my AFC team back in the day until Joe Burrow came into the NFL. So I took the Bengals as that AFC team because they got him and Jamar. But, the Texans, I would occasionally root for them. If the Saints are not in the playoffs, but they are, I'll kind of root for them on the side. But now that the Saints are going to play them in Houston this year or later in the season, I won't be rooting for them as much, but I would love to be at that game to watch, C.J. Stroud and all them and Will Anderson and all those other guys they drafted. See if the Texans are really going to be a thing. Can they be that top team in the AFC South, or will go to Jacksonville again, or could potentially go to the Tennessee Titans? Because everyone's talking about maybe one of them three could be the potential leaders of the AFC South. They've been hating on the Colts.
So week 5, you got the Patriots, Marcus. What do you think?
Yeah, Mac Jones, Ty Montgomery, J.J. Taylor. Just picked up Kayshon Boutte from LSU. You got Trey Nixon, and not to make you upset, but they got a former Steeler also, Juju Smith-Schuster.
Super Bowl champion now we can put with Juju, right?
I don't know. I could see Mac Jones down the road bringing them to a Super Bowl, but
I was just talking about Schuster.
But anyhow, I saw that the Patriots' first game of the season, and they're going to honor Tom Brady. Like Tom Brady's coming back to New England to get honored. Are they retiring his number finally, or is this just like, hey, I know we fucked up and burned your jersey when you left a few years ago, but now that you're retired, you're more than welcome to come back to Foxborough and root us on.
He's got to retire Patriot, right?
Well, I know he's retired in the NFL. I mean, I think they're retiring his number. They got to retire his number. They might as well.
I would believe so.
I mean, he'll be eligible for the Hall of Fame after 2020, starting in 2028. Now that this is an official retirement, he's not going to pull a Brett Favre again and come back and play a few more years.
Canton should be filled, right? 2027 will be Ben Roethlisberger, hopefully, and then 2028 will be
Drew Brees. I think is 2026.
Right, it should go Brees, Roethlisberger, Brady.
Some tells me like as soon as Brees is eligible, he probably ain't going to go in the first year he's eligible. I would love it, but I don't see it happening. It might be maybe 2 or 3 years after he's eligible. I could see him if they do him and like Roethlisberger and Brady and all them together, but then they want to put him as a leader, like leading that class. I mean, that'd be cool if they could put them all together in one class, but they're going to have.
My question is, do they let Gronk sit the extra year and come in with Brady?
Oh no,
because right now he retired when Roethlisberger did, so that would put him. I mean, he's going to be a first-time ballot Hall of Famer. Are they going to put him? Is he going to say, "I want to wait for Brady," or is he going to go in?
The way he's been acting, I guarantee he's going to wait for Brady. But he ain't going to be a first ballot if he goes in with Brady. Brady's going to be that first ballot. Just like
I meant for that position.
Oh no, he'll wait for him.
I do.
Welcome back.
Sorry, my phone died.
It happens.
I know we were talking about the Saints going to New England week 5.
I think you guys were talking about when Breeze goes into the Hall of Fame.
Breeze go. I mean, he's eligible in 2026, but I said I don't believe he'll go in as soon as he's eligible. I think it'll be a couple years. But I said that'd be cool if he go in the same year with like Brady and Ben, but he won't be a first ballot. He should be a first ballot whenever he goes in, but they all three will be first ballots. They go in, and then we were talking about Gronk's going to go in when Brady goes in. He won't be first ballot.
No way
If
Gronkowski's
they
not
wait,
first ballot.
Gronk waits. I don't even know. Can you wait to go into the Hall of Fame, or do you go when they pick you?
I mean,
After
I'm
5
sure
years,
I'm
Right,
sure
well, 5 years
Gronkowski
would be
can,
when.
but I doubt he waits the 1 year just so he goes in with Brady. That would be silly.
Right, keep it all New England. Let it go New England that weekend. At least the two big dogs anyway, Gronk and Brady.
So you really think they're going to go in
And-
as Patriots?
Oh yeah, why wouldn't they?
Brady will go
'Cause
in technically as both. You could say, there's going to be 50-50 crowd in that.
Well, Kurt Warner went in as Cardinal, and he never won with the Cardinals. He wanted to stick it to the Rams because he never went in with the rest of the greatest show on turf. So he chose the Cardinals when he went in.
If you can only go in as one, you can't go in with all the teams you went with, then yeah, Brady's going to go in as a Patriot because of all those titles he won.
That's what I was thinking.
That's like Brett Favre. Brett Favre went in as a Packer, but he played with other teams. See, I forgot you can only go in as one team. You can't go in with all your accomplishments. I mean, all your other accomplishments will get recognized, but you have to go in with one franchise. Then, yeah, Brady will go in as a Patriot. But I think but if he waits for Gronk to be eligible, I could say yeah. But something tells me they're not going to wait long. Brady's been their golden boy. As soon as he's eligible, he's going in, with or
Well,
without.
that's what I mean.
Gronk.
Gronk retired last year with Ben, but Brady came back. So that was my question.
Yeah,
And I don't really know the answer. I didn't look it up.
Then Brady's going to go in as soon as he's eligible.
But it's
Breeze
Gronk. That's my
probably,
question.
yeah.
Because
I don't know if he can.
Brady or Gronk and
I don't know if
Roethlisberger.
he can post. I don't know if he can postpone a year. I can think maybe Gronkowski can say, "Oh well, if he really wanted to go with Brady, I could see him saying, well, you should let this guy in who hasn't had an opportunity to, and give it up to somebody else." But I don't see him not wanting to be first ballot Hall of Famer. Like right now, he's like everyone's favorite tight end of all time. So like, I don't see him giving that up just for Brady.
No. But yeah, we got New England week 5.
Are you going to go to Houston in week 6, Mark?
I would love to. I'm gonna shoot for that since the Jags game will be on a work night, and I'll most likely will not be able to take off to go to it. So the Houston game will be on a Sunday, and it's a noon kickoff, and that's perfect for me. But that's gonna probably be a hard game to get because I already know the whole state of Louisiana can just drive right across the state line to go watch them.
Well, just to let you know, tickets went on sale today as well, it looks like.
Yeah, but how high do you think those tickets are right now? Because,
I don't know.
everyone, I mean, besides watching their players, everyone's going to want to come watch CJ Stroud, but then who else they're going to come watch? The Texans, I mean, they're trying to build a big team. They're trying to build that playoff team. They got Devin Singletary, the former Buffalo Bill. He's with the Texans now. Who else they picked up during the offseason?
Pierce from last year, who everyone loved as a rookie.
Oh, they got Dalton Schultz. They picked him up. They got I'm talking about people.
Mark,
what?
Real quick, 2 tickets, section 603 row K, 66 apiece.
Well, that's way too much just to sit that high. If it was
That's
if the price was
on here.
if the price was cut in half, I'd pay for 2 tickets for 66, not one.
I would just let you know.
I'll give it a couple months, it'll drop. Or when the Texans start losing, the prices will drop. I'll probably buy them like at the last minute.
Marcus, is this guy joining you on Sunday?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He was
Dylan,
supposed to be
welcome
my
to the show.
He's supposed to be. He was going to be my first guest, but he had a funeral to attend, so he couldn't make it. So that's how I got Evan and Jamie to come on. But see how my show is. I'm going to talk to somebody every week. I ain't doing that shit by myself. So
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard doing it by yourself, ain't it?
Yeah. I mean, too bad the
I'll
Saints
come
and the
on.
Niners ain't playing this year. If they were, I'd have invited Melissa to come on.
I'll come on. I don't mind Saints fans.
Hey,
I hated Drew Brees. I absolutely hated Drew Brees.
because he was a Charger.
No, I hated Drew Brees simply because he overdid it every time he got an injury versus my team. So, like, he slid into Ahmad Brooks' arm, and it was just like for 5 years I heard nothing but that he got clotheslined. And then, like, during one of the absolute worst seasons to be a Niner fan, 2020 happens, and then Contavious Street hits him, and he doesn't even land on him, but they called it a dirty hit, and then they heard it like the dirtiest hit to ever happen to the league. They try to act like it after the fact when you heard like he had like 18 cracked bones or whatever it was. It was just like some ridiculous number. And it's just like Drew Brees is like that really annoying little shrimp that would just like absolutely despise my defense. I love defense more than anything. And play the victim, and it was just like I wanted to strangle his neck. It's just like quarterback. Like, why do you always have to pull these like stupid ass shenanigans versus my team? And then, like, even without Drew Brees, he just got shut out 13-0, and I still have to see Jarvis freaking Landry and Chris Olave, all your receivers like flopping all over, crying bloody murder that they didn't get a flag on every freaking play. Like, come on, you were shut out. Like, have some freaking balls instead of wasting all your energy trying to get like flag over flag over flag. Make a goddamn catch. But
look, that game, I know what game you're talking about. That game, I got put in Facebook jail because I talked so much. I got put in Facebook jail, and I was banned from Twitter for 48 hours because I was shit talking them going on it on 4th and fucking short in the goal line situation, and they called that fucking penalty back. You can ask Dylan. I got put in Facebook jail for the shit I talked on Roger Goodell and the stupid officials and our stupid freaking offensive coordinator. And then on top of that, we got the Rams.
I've never heard anyone get put in jail for football talk. I've heard so many political stints getting kicked off, getting banned. Marcus, you've just made my day of getting booted for football talk.
You should have known. It was worse whenever the fucking no call against the Rams for the NFC Championship. That was worse.
That was bad. That was.
You guys got so fucked in that game.
It got bad where I tagged the mayor of Atlanta in a fucking tweet.
Oh my god.
Because I'm like, the Atlanta don't want the Saints in the Super Bowl because it's in Atlanta. Like, everyone got robbed. Everyone wanted a Brady Breeze Super Bowl, and no, we got Jared Goff versus Tom Brady.
You had a couple of those in a row, didn't you? You had the Minnesota Miracle.
Oh, don't want to bring that up. That guy, he had the same name as me. Okay. Dylan was here. Dylan can bring all this up, and Dylan was at the game with the no call.
Then you had that bullshit Kyle Rudolph push-off thing against the Vikings in the the Metrodome.
Yeah. I forgot about that fucking shit.
Oh my god.
Brady retiring Breeze in front of no fans. It's another one. Like DJ Khaled, another one. Yeah, but nothing. Yeah, that 49ers game, I was in Facebook jail for 2 weeks, and I was banned from Twitter for 2 days because I fucking shit talk the refs.
You know what the thing is though? I think it was like 2011 or 2012. It was the Niners versus the Saints in the playoffs again, and it was that overtime win where the Niners won last minute in overtime versus the Saints. I think it was the catch three. And the funny part was that was like my first solo vacation away from home without my family. And my best friend and I at the time had gone to Disney to celebrate his birthday. And I remember turning my phone on because we like the Magic Kingdom at night to see the castle light up with fireworks and stuff. And I just have like three screaming voices going, "The Niners won in overtime!" And I remember the first thing what happened when I got home. I went to Apple, and I went and made sure that you could buy the games because you could buy them back then, the playoff games. It's those my favorite things I've ever purchased in my entire life. That Niners Saints, and I have it on my Apple account, and I watch it on my Roku all the time now.
I don't remember what I did from that game, but I'm pretty sure I threw my hat at the wall and I said I hate this team.
I remember we used to play the entire South back then. It was like either the Panthers or the Saints or the Falcons, except for the Bucks.
So, Melissa, week 6, you get to go to the Browns. What are your thoughts?
It does not feel the same without the whole Baker Mayfield versus Nick Bosa thing. Like, I wanted that so badly last year, and we didn't get it. And then now he's in Tampa. Like, that was one of the best things ever. Like, Bosa just came alive versus Baker Mayfield his rookie year, and I'm not going to look forward to this game because I have a lot of anger when it comes to Deshaun Watson, but at the same time, I can't help but like David Njoku and Brown players, so I'm hoping for a clean game, but I'm not going to enjoy watching that game simply because of the other quarterback.
I tend to put this stuff to the side and just say, hey, if they can play ball, let's watch
I
some
know,
ball.
but just
You have to.
You can keep saying that, and then if you're listening to it with the sound, and when the announcers just keep talking about it and talking about it and talking about it, you can't drown that part out in your head. It's like every time there was a Niners game versus Aaron Rodgers when he was a Packer, every friggin' time, you would have to hear it at least 15 times a game, pre-game, during game, post-game. Aaron Rodgers was promised the number 1 overall pick in 2005, and then they went and got Alex Smith instead, and it's just you know these things by now. Why do you have to constantly have to replay the same things over and over again? Whether it's Mark Sanchez or it's Greg Olsen or whoever the hell it is.
We know he's going to be hitting on the quarterback the whole time on Sunday Night Football. But anyway, let's move on, Melissa.
Awful, especially if he
following week you have Minnesota on Monday Night Football.
That's gonna be fun. I am looking forward to this game.
No,
I've looked
that
forward
sounds
to
like a
this
playoff
game
game.
for a while. It really doesn't. I mean, if it was the Lions, I would agree. But the reason why I'm looking forward to this game is just because we played them in the preseason last year, and there's all this talk about how my secondary couldn't handle Justin Jefferson, and now they have TJ Hawkinson and all this other stuff. So I really want to see what
Jordan
Steve
Addison
Wilks does with my. I want to see what my defense does versus that whole plethora of weapons that Kirk Cousins has. So that one's going to be a lot of fun for me.
Well, I love the addition of Jordan Addison. I think it's going to – one of these two wide receivers is going to be wide open all day long. That's just he played for Pitt, so I got to see him play. Him and Pickett were tough outs.
Is that the same Jordan Addison that went to USC last year?
Yeah, and the nil and all that crap. Marcus, you probably understand that more than I do. You're a college guy.
What's that?
The whole Jordan Addison thing going to USC and opting out of Pitt, the transfer portal.
I'm surprised anybody wants to go to USC after what happened to them in the Cotton Bowl against Tulane.
I like
But
the
everyone's saying that
Thank you.
Caleb Williams
Thank
will
you
probably
very
be
much for that.
they're saying Caleb Williams will probably be the number 1 pick next year in the draft.
Already?
They're calling it, yeah.
Jesus. And then,
Which
Melissa, you get Joe Burrow week 8. And that game is...
Ooh, I can't wait for that one.
I want that game so badly.
What
I
time's
know my
that
luck
game? What time's that kickoff? Is that a primetime
the
game? or that's like
1:25 p.m., so that means...
noon for me.
It's 4:25, 3:25 your time. It will be 1.
Oh, America's Game of the Week. So yeah, so
Hopefully, I get.
and we
that
have
game.
we have a Thursday night game that week. So yeah, I will be wearing my Joe Burrow jersey that Sunday.
I cannot wait for that game. I love that game. 2 years ago, where it went to overtime, and I mean, it wouldn't have gone to overtime if Robbie Gold could make a freaking field goal, but I remember George Kittle having that amazing catch, and Juwan Jennings just like getting every critical first down needed for that last. I love the Bengals versus the Niners. Just like that.
That's gonna be fun. I'll be definitely watching that one. I might have watched that whole game by that time. I might not even have Red Zone on.
I actually watch that game all the time on YouTube now. Like the 2021 game. It's one of those like games like I can't get enough of. The only issue with that game is Ambry Thomas. Like every time I see him, I just want to like punch something.
Yeah. Well, we got
Marcus, so you kind of stay in the AFC South the whole time. Do you see this? You go Texans, Jaguars, Colts.
Yeah, because we open up with Tennessee, and then like after a few weeks, we just finish our tour with the AFC South. This one prime time, so that means if anybody wants Prime
Amazon.
Video, it's on Prime Video. So I'm gonna be getting them phone calls. Why is this game not televised? Why can't I catch it? Do you have Prime Video? No,
Put it on Twitch.
You ain't gonna watch it.
It will be on Twitch. Everybody, that game will be on Twitch.
well,
All Thursday night games are on Twitch.
These people I'm talking about are over the age of 45. They probably never heard of Twitch.
Well, just tell them to twitch.com and it comes up.
Like
Amazon and Twitch have a thing worked out.
I got to the point where last year it was so bad. My dad would come over every Thursday to watch the Thursday night games. I had to when we bought them a brand new smart TV for Christmas, it come with Prime Video. I put my Prime Video account in their TV where he could watch it every Thursday. But then my mom's like, no, I created an account. You don't have to do that. I did it for him. I'm like, okay, good. Because he don't have to come at my house and interrupt me while I'm doing a show. Or if I'm not at home, he's like, are you home from work yet so I can come over? No, I'm working a football game. God damn it, son. I got to watch this game. But, I mean, we're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, everyone's only going to watch this game just to see what they do against Trevor Lawrence. I'm only watching it to watch Trevor Lawrence and, of course, Travis Etienne. But, I mean, do you want to throw in other people? I mean, yeah. I mean, you still got
I watched
Jalen Moore.
Christian Kirk, right?
Calvin Ridley, too, and Seth Williams.
Is Calvin Ridley reinstated?
I don't know.
Yes.
But
yes.
The last time I actually
sat.
The last time I actually sat and watched the Jags game, it was the weekend we went to. It was the last week of the regular season. We were in New Orleans the night before, just went at a Mexican restaurant before we went to that game. I sat at a Mexican restaurant and actually watched that whole game when they beat the Titans to win the division. And I'm like, this was a damn good game. They wanted that win so bad and they got it. I'm like, it's the only time I was really rooting for the Jags. I was supposed to get a Travis Etienne jersey, never got it. I need to get it, hurry up and get it before he ends up leaving that team and goes somewhere else. But I don't know. I guess he's doing so good. They might give him what's those type of contracts where after his rookie contract's up, he can like play for him for like 10 seasons. What do they call
You
those
want him to
contracts?
retire Jag.
But I don't know. Some tells me he might not stay with Jacksonville his whole career. He'll probably move to another team in the future. So
Because that following week, you got a pretty good running back you're facing too,
yeah,
Jonathan Taylor.
holy, that's another guy.
But who knows? How good are they going to be? How good are they going to be? Rookie quarterback at the helm.
With I mean, who else the Colts got at quarterback now? Will Levis will probably get that starting job, but
I penciled it in already. I think he will. My question is, is Evan Knoll gonna walk in and be the running back too? There, the rookie they just drafted.
No,
over Zach Morris and who's the other guy?
No, wait, I made a mistake. They didn't draft
they have Anthony Richardson.
They draft Anthony Richardson from Florida, but remember they still got Gardner Minshew, the former Jag, and they still have Sam Ellinger on their team.
You don't think they're going to start Richardson? You don't think you wasted a number 1 pick to let him sit in the bench?
No, Richardson will start, but something tells me like if he gets hurt, then Gardner Minshew is going to take over. Why the hell have I been saying Will Levis? I guess it's that Kentucky
Carolina.
No, that Kentucky blue. It's that Kentucky blue mixing with the Colt.
No,
blue.
it's because ESPN and NFL Network and all of them were promising Will Levis was going to be a Colt. Instead, he went to the Titans, I believe, in the second round.
Oh yeah, he's with the Titans. My bad.
Yeah, that's who they drafted. But then
that's why I need to be on your show for the draft preview.
Remember the the Titans drafted a quarterback last year. They drafted that guy from Liberty, and now they drafted another quarterback.
Malik Willis. I don't know what happened to that kid.
He was awful.
Serious trouble.
He was awful. He was all with the full of awful.
Wait.
It
also,
was bad.
The Colts also have Ogletree at tight end. Andrew Ogletree at tight end, and they have Isaiah McKenzie from Georgia. He's their wide receiver, and they got Alec Pierce at wide receiver also.
They got Marcus too.
Yep.
Hey Marcus, I want to ask you a question. What do you think of the Jacksonville Jaguars having not 1 but 2 overseas games this year?
I'm surprised they didn't move to London. I mean, that's like London's favorite team. The Jags had more games in London than any team in the NFL. So, wait, aren't they playing in Germany also?
No,
I think so.
No, Tyreek Hill is playing the Chiefs in Germany.
So it's the Chiefs and the Dolphins in Germany?
Yeah.
Wow. Like, who was that first game in Germany? Wasn't it like Tampa Bay and
Seahawks?
I like when they go to Mexico too, but it's 9 times out of 10 if it's a game in Mexico, it's usually like the freaking Texans, the Broncos.
They canceled that series this year.
Really?
They had the best game last year. They had Niners versus the Cardinals. It was awesome.
Well, I'm surprised the Broncos don't go to Mexico a lot because I had friends when I used to be a part of can't remember the name of that brand. Well, we're no longer with them because I made a horrible comment about Tua Tagovailoa when he got that concussion. So that got us kicked off the fucking group. But they have a high fan base with the Broncos, Mexico. Like, I thought maybe the Texans or the Cowboys or like the Rams would have a high fan base with with Mexico. It's the Broncos. But no. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You know what's crazy about that? Right before that week game against the Cardinals, the Niners actually went up to Denver for like a week and practice up there just to get used to the kind of like height for the Mexico City game because it's so high.
Oh, and it was ATB Network I got removed from because I pissed off a lot of Dolphin fans that are in there because when Tua had that, I guess you could say it was that seizure. I didn't know he had a fucking seizure when he had that sack, and it was against the Bengals. That's when the Bengals debuted those white helmets, and Tua got sacked, and he technically had a seizure. And I tweeted what I said: Tua is still a bitch, like he was at Alabama. And I got banned from ATB Network because I made fun of Tua when he had a serious injury.
He should have. He should have been.
that was the week that he had 2 concussions within 4 days, but they didn't want to call the first one a concussion. Then his
Well, I'll
hands
tell
went
you
into
what.
rigor mortis against the Bengals.
Well, when the shit with Damar Hamlin, I didn't say shit. I froze. I was like, "What the fuck did I just see?" I thought he died,
Yeah,
when that
he
happened.
did die.
but he came back to life.
He did die. They brought him back to life on the field.
When that happened, that scared the shit out of me, and it was the
It scared the
Bengals.
shit out of
So
everyone.
it's like somebody gets hurt. Somebody gets almost dead against the Bengals. First Tua, and then Damar Hamlin. Who's next? It's like it's always against the Bengals.
Bo Jackson.
In Cincinnati too, by the way, because
Yeah, I went old school. I just said Bo Jackson.
oh
That was against the Bengals.
shit, I forgot.
A lot of people say it might have been a cheap hit. Some people say
Well,
it wasn't.
I wasn't alive at that time, but I couldn't imagine everyone's reaction when what happened with what's his face from the Redskins when he got tackled by Lawrence Taylor, Joe Theismann.
Oh, is it like knee count?
His leg, yeah. When
Hey Adam,
didn't see
wasn't
the
that
hit.
I've
Adam,
watched it.
that big AJ hit, was that in Pittsburgh or was that in Cincinnati?
The what?
The AJ Brown big hit, was that in Pittsburgh or Cincinnati when Fontes Perfect like knocked his head into the
Oh, it was in
ground?
Cincinnati.
Okay.
I'm gonna take her out real quick.
No
I'll be
problem.
right back. Go. No, we're not.
So Marcus, how many games do you
Yeah.
think this year?
Do not keep doing this.
Huh?
How many
You're
games
cutting out.
do
I'm
you
sorry.
How many
She
games
just
do you
wanted
see
to-
yourself winning this year?
Sorry, she just wants to play. Sorry.
I'll be lucky if I could go to one this year. Like last year, that was my first Saints game I went to since 2016. Like I usually go. Now I did have a nice run from 3 consecutive years. I went to one game a year. From 2011 to 13, I went to one game a year. But I'm gonna try and go to at least one. I mean, I'd like to go to a home game too, so I'm going to shoot for 2 since I'm trying to go to that
I was
Texas
gonna
game
say you
in
might be able to go
Houston.
against the Bears
I'm gonna have to look
in
at
week
like
9.
that'd be a good one to go try. Yeah, the Chicago Bears go against Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. I can send you a Claypool jersey. You can wear it as a Steeler jersey.
If I ever wear a Bears jersey, it's gonna be the fridge
Right? Or Peyton.
or Matt Forte,
Ooh.
Hey,
former Tulane.
Jimmy
Graham.
Slave.
Jimmy Graham.
Oh no, not Jimmy Graham. That was
Do you
another
think
jersey.
you're-
Did anyone else see the report that Jimmy Graham got hit by a car today?
no.
No.
I don't know if it was true or not. Like, I don't know if it was a made up thing or not. I would just want it's something. He was riding a bike in Miami and got hit by a car, from what
Who would
I heard.
who would
But
be
I
the
didn't
start?
see anything other reports on it.
Who would be the starting running back? Foreman?
For who? The Bears?
Yeah, Deontay Foreman or Travis Homer or Callie Abear or Herbert. Khalil Herbert.
I'm gonna go Herbert.
Let's see. Chase Claypool, DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney at wide receiver.
Darnell
DJ
Mooney's
Moore.
probably gonna be in the slot.
DJ Moore.
Chase Allen at tight end. I could see that. But you also have Jake Tongs too.
So who's the running
Okay,
back?
what? Huh?
Who's the running back?
Okay.
Oh, the running back. I said it was either going to be Deontay Foreman or Khalil Herbert.
I'm going Herbert.
I'm going Deontay Foreman. I was going to ask you, what did you think about being one of the 4 teams singled out for Hard Knocks? Do you think your team's going to be in Hard Knocks?
I would love to see it happen, but I don't know if they want to see that side of New Orleans. All they're going to focus on is the drunk alcoholics on Burbage Street.
Yes, that'd be good TV.
But I wouldn't be surprised. They always like to do Hard Knocks with the shittiest teams. I mean, last I remember, I've seen Hard Knocks with the Jets, the Texans, the Panthers, the Cardinals,
Lions.
the Lions.
They said that the 4 that are up this year are the Saints, the Jets, the Bears, and the Commanders.
Oh my God, they better do the Commanders or the Jets. They might not do the Jets because they got Aaron Rodgers and they're so desperate they might be a playoff team. I could see the
you know what-
Commanders.
You know what the funny part is? Woody Johnson, the media whore that he is actually for the first time in the world begging them not to put his team on Hard Knocks. He's begging them. The guy
I mean-
who his personal plane out the day of the Giants Super Bowl parade to go fly Tim Tebow to New Jersey is
Oh, Lord.
begging for no national media on Hard Knocks.
I even laughed at all those people who spent all that money on like Tim Tebow Jags jerseys, and then after the freaking preseason, he didn't even make the cut.
What about all the people who spent money on him as a Jet and as a Met? Because a lot of Jet fans are Met fans here.
And a Bronco.
Listen, Tim Tebow won a playoff game against the Steelers. in
Yeah, then
overtime.
Peyton Manning came by and took his job and ruined his life.
Is that what happened?
That's what I say happened. When they looked at Peyton Manning, they're like, that's our guy. Tebow's back. No. Hell, even Tebow couldn't even turn the Jets around. All he does now is he hosts his SEC network with Dumbo Ears and Marcus Spears and that other guy.
Dumbo ears?
Yeah, Paul Feinbaum. Pinocchio with Dumbo Ears because he's got a big nose also.
Well, Mark, Melissa stole my thunder on talking about the overtime thriller. You guys do end up going back to Minnesota this year for week 10.
I'm not ready for that because I have a guy I'm going to bring on my show when that comes. He's a diehard Vikings fan, and I guarantee you he's going to bring up the Minnesota, whatever the fuck it's called. He's going to bring up the other playoff loss. He's going to bring
The
up that
Minneapolis
week 1.
Miracle. Is that what they called it?
I thought it
Yep.
was the Minnesota Miracle. Or
No,
I
it
thought-
was the Minneapolis Miracle, and then I think it was the very next year. Or was it 2 years after? You guys then faced them in the Metrodome, and then Kyle Rudolph had that piss off catch in the end zone on the fade route that won them that game.
Well, the Minnesota Miracle I thought happened in the new stadium.
I
thought
don't
they had-
remember if I can't remember if the Saints game in Minnesota was either in 2018 or was it 2017?
I think no. The Minnesota Miracle was 2018. It was the year before the no call. So it was in the new stadium. I think it was the first year they had this because that was the year Minneapolis hosted the Super Bowl, and then they went to the NFC Championship and lost to the Eagles.
Okay.
On
So
a
it
kick.
was in the new stadium. Now I'll never forget I think it was the following year, or it might have been the same year. We freaking played Minneapolis week 1 on Monday night and we lost that damn game.
So, since you're talking about Vikings and Saints, I have to ask a question, especially since you brought the jersey out earlier.
Okay.
What did you think of retiring Brett Favre?
It was a long time coming. I mean, I loved him as a Packer, but then I gave him a chance as a Jet. But when I saw he was with the Vikings, I'm like, come on, man, can't be with them. And then, I mean, he technically retired close to home because where he grew up in Mississippi, it was about an hour and a half away from New Orleans, so he technically retired in front of his home people. But that was one of the best games I've ever saw. That NFC title game where they went into overtime and Garrett Hartley kicked that 40-something yard field goal and brought the Saints to their only Super Bowl. That was about as big as the block punt by Steve Gleason.
Was that the Harper? Was that the Harper return for a touchdown year in the
Yes.
Super Bowl?
Yes. Or Tracy Porter, you mean? The pick six?
Is that who it was? I thought it was Harper.
It was
My bad.
Tracy Porter. Tracy Porter had the pick six. But,
My quarterback doesn't even remember what color we wear in the Super Bowl. Neil
I was-
O'Donnell throwing it to Larry
I've
Brown
never-
twice.
Of all the times I watched the Steelers in the Super Bowl, I've never seen them wear the black jerseys. Like 3 of them Super Bowls, y'all wore white. Like 40 when y'all beat the Seahawks, y'all wore white. 43 when y'all beat the Cardinals, y'all wore white. And then 45 when y'all lost to the Packers, y'all wore white. I'll never forget that freaking pick 6 from that lineman for the Steelers, and he returned it like 90-something yards before halftime against the Cardinals.
James Harrison. Debo.
Yeah. And I'll never forget, the only time they ever put 2 players on a Madden cover, it was Troy Polamalu and Larry Fitzgerald.
Melissa, week 10 against the Jags. What you got?
I can't wait to watch Josh Allen, and I am hoping I never have to see the words Evan or Ingram or ever again, because that was just annoying. Isn't he
Melissa has
free agent
nightmares about Evan Ingram, just to let you know, Marcus.
Yeah.
She can't stand the guy, probably because he was a Giant.
Okay. It's not just that. It's just that, okay, he went 4 rounds before George Kittle in 2017. He was the bane of my existence as a Giant, like having a Giant father who had to deal with him every single week. And then the very first year that the Giants get rid of him, he goes to Jacksonville, and everyone swore that you're going to see this first-round pick blossom and shine with Trevor Lawrence. And it was just like, come on. He has, like, stone hands. It was like when they overpaid Christian Kirk at the same time. It was absolutely ridiculous.
So, Melissa, real quick, do the Niners stay in Florida for the week because they play the Buccaneers week 11?
Usually, if the Niners have 2 East Coast games back to back, they usually stay in that place in, I think, Virginia or is it West Virginia. There's like this little hotel that they always stay at. So they like to stay there between East Coast trips if they have back to back ones, so that way they don't have to go East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast.
And then they fly back home after the Buccaneers and play the Seahawks. Or what do you think they're going to do against the Buccaneers? I just went over this game because I don't know how good the Buccaneers are really going to be.
I think they'll at least have. I think they'll at least have more fans in attendance than the Oakland A's.
Oh,
The only thing
you mean the Vegas A's?
I wish they would just be called the Vegas Aces, but no, that's a WNBA team, so they can't be called that. I bet you they'll go
the Vegas A's. It'd be so much better than the Las Vegas A's.
They could be the Vegas A's. Watch their logo will be like the A on a card. Like it's gonna be like they're gonna change their colors and everything.
They can't keep the same A.
They could, but I think they're gonna change everything. Like they're gonna change their colors. They're gonna change their logo. They're gonna have that.
I hate when teams do that.
They're gonna change that cursive A to like the A on a card. Like if you were playing poker, like one of the A's on a card. Like the Oakland A's, it'll be the 4 cards. Like a full house, like ace. That's gonna be their logo. That's gonna be their logo.
What if they change their name to the Vegas Aces?
No, they can't. That's the WNBA team. They'll probably change their colors to like black and red and white. Their logo is going to be a like full house of aces, and
you don't think they'll go black and silver like the other team there?
No, they'll probably be like black and casino colors. They'll be like black and red and white. Their logo will be a full house of aces, and they'll just be the Vegas A's. They're wherever they're building their ballpark at. They're gonna have a casino vibe. They're gonna get that'll be like their actual Vegas vibe team instead of the Raiders or the Golden Knights. That's gonna be what resembles Vegas, like that team. That's what I think. And then Oakland, like might as well play Heart of the Angels because Oakland as a sports city is like buried in the ground because they lost 2 teams to Vegas and 1 team moved to the Bay across the Bay to San Francisco. So like Oakland is like the shittiest downfall team, and I can't wait to see a documentary about that.
I can't stand when teams rebrand and move or rename. They completely get rid of their old uniforms and their old colors. Especially when the Nets became the Brooklyn Nets and they got rid of the blue and red and everything else.
Marcus, you gonna play us a song?
Oakland, you suck. There you go. That's all I got so far.
Melissa, so I really want to get to your game, the game of the week. I know
Okay,
you'd rather
the Tampa
talk the
game
Seattle
is going to
game.
be fun. The Tampa Bay game is going to be fun simply because it's going to be Baker Mayfield versus Nick Bosa.
I like that.
There you go. You get your matchup anyway. There you go.
There you go. I like.
I want to blow by the Seattle game because I really don't care about it. But the following game is the big one. It's the rematch of the playoff
Okay.
game.
What game?
Your thoughts against the Eagles?
That's another good one. I'd be excited for.
I hate him. I hate him. I really,
And
truly
it's
hate
at
him.
Philadelphia again.
I know.
Oh,
I
man,
told you
even
that
worse.
like 3 months ago. I told you that both Philly games were, or both Pennsylvania teams were in Pennsylvania, which is ridiculous. But no, it's just I'm hoping the Niners at least make it a game. Like I don't care if they lose. I want it to be a game. I don't want it to be like I have Josh Johnson as my quarterback, and then he gets hurt, and then I have to have either
Josh Hill.
the previous
guy
broken
that
quarterback
couldn't
try to hold offs, or Christian McCaffrey is
That
supposed
joke.
to go in for a series as a handoff. Like that's not a game. Like if you're gonna lose a championship game, fine, you lose the championship game. But for it to end that way after everything that they went through that year and survived and persevered through, like that was like the absolute worst outcome you could have asked for. I could have handled a loss. I could have even handled a close loss. I could have even handled a bonehead loss that came because they didn't challenge that first touchdown that wasn't really a touchdown because he was out of bounds thing. Like I could have dealt with all of that, but the very fact that it came down to the Niners having no quarterbacks and it just being that, and it was for the majority of the game being that, it was like early into the game when that happened, that all I want is a good game. Like if I can walk out of that game and my team played hard and there's not mega injuries, then I can hold my head high. But apart from that, I'm not going to wish for anything else because it's Philly and I don't need a bad voodoo jinx at all. So,
Marcus, we'll jump to your schedule real quick in a minute. Melissa, do you feel that week 12 through week 15 is going to be one of your hardest stretches? Actually, through week 16? Because you go Seattle, at Philly, then back home for Seattle, then at Philly or at Phoenix, and then the Ravens come to town for week 16.
I mean, the last time we had a gauntlet, like where we had like 4 or 5 weeks where they told the Niners they had no chance, was in like 2019 when we had Packers, the Ravens, the Saints, all in like that one like little 3-week period. And they said we'd be lucky even to win one of those games. And we ended up winning like 2 out of the 3 or 3 out of the 4. So it could be. It's just you never know by that point in the season who's actually going to be the difficult teams. Like last year, everyone would have said that Niners Rams was going to be the hardest one. It was actually the Seahawks that ended up being the hardest opponent in the division last year. So it's just like,
oh yeah, Geno Smith wound up being a wild card player.
So you never know 12 weeks into the season who's going to have that major quarterback injury or whatever else thing that makes teams unravel. So it could very well be. Just I don't know.
And that week 16 game against the Ravens is Monday night on Christmas.
I don't know.
Just to let you know. So Christmas is on a Monday, folks.
All over again.
And then you got the Commanders, which Bosa and Chase Young. That should be a good defensive matchup to watch.
Hmm.
And this is how close they think this division is going to be. They put your Rams, Niners, Week 18 to be determined.
I saw that.
It's not even a game time yet. So I think
saw
that was
that.
pretty good. I don't know if they, Marcus, you're looking at the schedule. Did they do that for your Saints by chance, or did they give you a time slot for Week 18? I didn't get there yet. I
No,
was
it
getting
says TBD.
So every Week 18 game is TBD. Is that correct?
But we play the Falcons to close out the regular season. I guarantee you that'll be a noon kickoff.
Unless
I
this
think they're
game
like
means
doing.
something, right?
No, I
Possibly.
think they're like doing the TBD thing because they never know who's going to be that last either division winner. So like sometimes it comes down to week 18 to who decide who wins the division or who decides who wins the last play wild card spot. So they like having it flexible so that way it's not like the previous years where they're like scrambling and saying, "Oh, this game was slotted for 1 o'clock and this game was slotted for 4 o'clock," and then they have to move like all the different games around. So leaving everything TBD kind of gives them the wide openness that they need for like the end of the year scheduling. Which I'd rather have it that way.
Marcus, you have off Christmas with football this year.
Yeah, I don't work Christmas.
No, I meant your Saints. They have the Thursday night game.
I know that against the Rams.
Yes, sir.
That's the show I'm gonna invite her on where we can shit talk the Rams together.
Are you gonna even play Matthew Stafford that week? Like, is he even gonna be healthy?
I wouldn't even care. I that's just one team I hate as much as I hate the Falcons and the
Aaron
Cowboys. Is the
Aaron
Rams?
Donald here? Like, we have no idea.
It's very unpredictable. But I will tell you, our matchup with the Vikings that we got week 10 is I'm gonna be so nervous for that game. Because I mean, you got another veteran quarterback, Kirk Cousins. You got one of the best running backs in Dalvin Cook.
Who might be traded?
Maybe. We got.
Do they have Alexander Madison up there? He's my favorite running back for the Vikings.
Dalvin Cook has been on the trade talk about going to your guy down there in Miami. So that would leave them with Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr., and Dalvin Cook. That would be dangerous.
You got one of the best receivers and one of the coolest receivers in person, too.
Thank you. I could not think of his last name. That's why I said Mike.
Mike McDaniels.
Yeah.
And you got one of the coolest guys in person to meet and one of the best receivers, Justin Jefferson.
And Jordan Addison.
And
TJ Hawkinson.
And Brandon Powell. And
TJ Hawkinson.
Yep. KJ Osborne. Another one. Tristan Jackson. Jalen Naylor.
Is Danielle Hunter still a Viking? I feel like he's dropped off the face of the earth.
And they had a was it Johnny Munt that was that underrated tight end, or was it Josh Oliver?
For the Vikings?
Yeah, that underrated tight end that like people were like just picking up in fantasy. Was it Josh Oliver or was it Johnny Munt? That they were like, you need to pick him up. Like he had outstanding. I'm like, no.
I have no idea.
I wasn't getting rid of freaking Travis Kelce for that shit or bench him for that shit. Like I had Travis Kelce as my team.
I couldn't tell you. I don't play fantasy football.
I'm surprised, Melissa. I thought you would.
My dad. Can I tell you a story? My dad
I
takes
haven't
that shit so serious.
Hold on, one person at a time here, kid.
I have enough stress watching my team. Could you imagine me having to watch like week by week, see all these players not play, and then not play? It'd be crazy. I'm sorry. Go on, Marcus.
I was like, I know people that take that fantasy football so serious, like my goddamn dad, for example. Like he'll call me in the middle of work. I could be in a conference call. I could be talking with my bosses, and he want to call and be like, "You need to update your you need to update your lineup before you lose this week. You need to bench this guy and pick this guy up. He's destined to get this amount of points." And I'm like, God damn it. And I listen to him, and you know what happens? I fucking lose because I picked that guy up.
You think your dad's trying to help you out or what?
He thinks he knows. I say he thinks he knows. But one time I picked up every person he told me to pick up and bench that person, and I got my ass beat in that game. And then his excuse was, "Oh, that's what I heard on what's that draft channel on DirecTV?" Because he was watching that. I'm like, you need to not listen to these clowns. I'd rather listen to Joe Buck and Troy Aikman call a game than listen to those guys call fantasy football picks.
Okay.
Or even better, I'd rather listen to Vern Lindquist and them call an SEC game on CBS. Which I like Vern Lindquist. I don't know why everybody hates him.
Marcus, you got me looking up this guy. Hold on. You got me looking up this tight end right now. I'm not ignoring you. That's what.
The worst one for me is Cynthia Freeland from the NFL Network.
No,
her and her stupid calculator calculations. I cannot stand her.
I hate the chick that they get to call college football games, especially ACC games.
It's like, I get it, you're smart, you know football, you like beyond study it and everything else. It's just like, do you have to be so obnoxious?
You know who one of my favorite broadcaster is, but he doesn't broadcast football. I love Dick Vidal, who does college basketball. He is like one of the best to call, like, because I like watching North Carolina and basketball. He calls the best games. I love Dick Vidal, and he's one of the best.
Did you see there's a rumor that Brady's already trying to get out of his Fox deal?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's more, Brady or the people who are so desperate to have him play again in the league. Like, he's almost 50. Leave him alone. I mean, isn't it bad enough he followed Jimmy G to Las Vegas to be a part owner of some team over there? Like, can't he just be Vegas' problem for a little while?
Marcus, you got me on a wild fucking goose.
Yeah, but I will say this. I know some people don't like listening to them and stuff, but you gotta love when you got like Al Michaels or Chris Collinsworth and Mike Tirico and all them calling Sunday Night Football. That's like the best pair right there.
The only thing that can make Sunday Night Football calls worse is if you had it be Chris Simpson and Mike Florio.
Yeah.
I cannot stand Simpson and Florio. They're both annoying separately, but together they're just like torture to the ears.
Which right now, like, I don't know why. I thought Tirico had some stuff he'd do with Monday Night Football, but I remember usually that's like it used to be Chris Fowler at times, or it could be Louis Riddick, but like I usually remember like Joe Buck or Troy Aikman calling Monday Night Football a lot too.
Monday Night Football was ESPN, so it was either Louis Riddick or Booger McFarland or...
Yeah, I remember Louis Riddick, but also back in the day it was Chris Fowler, but like I've been remembering Joe Buck and Troy Aikman lately. I think I remember them more last season.
They moved last year from Fox to ESPN. So last year it was either Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, or it was the Manning cast for a select few weeks.
Well, the Mannings are ESPN2. I don't watch ESPN2. I watch ESPN.
You're saving yourself. I cannot listen to Eli Manning one more time.
And I don't know who the fuck started putting NFL on Nickelodeon, but that needs to stop. I did that the year it was a Christmas. I think it was when the Saints played the Vikings on Christmas Day. So it was 2020. I watched that game on Nickelodeon. Like the freaking field goal net was SpongeBob's face. If they scored a touchdown, you'd see slime. And they put freaking teenagers calling the game, and they put a girl
Wasn't that the Saints Bears game?
No, it was Saints Vikings in 2020. Because I was watching it on ESPN, and then I was like, I want to see what it looks like on Nickelodeon. And I wasted 5 minutes of my life. I was like, I'll never get back.
Okay, because I remember the one time you guys faced the Bears on Nickelodeon, and I think they gave like Mitchell Trubisky the Nickelodeon Most Valuable Player, so they called it the MVP award.
It wasn't a Christmas
I laughed
game.
about that for like a whole week.
That was something else, but no, the Saints, that must have been a regular season game. It wasn't Christmas. That was the Vikings.
That's so stupid. I think that was Nate Burleson who started that whole campaign to do the Nickelodeon shows and then to try to get younger kids to understand football by using cartoons, and it's just.
I don't even like when Peacock. I don't even like watching NFL on Peacock. Because Saints had a Peacock game. I mean, I have Peacock, but no, I don't like to switch HDMI channels and have to turn my Xbox on to watch my team play. I should be able to just watch it on my direct. TV? No, I just have to I have to push this little button all the way to the right and hit TV input and change to HDMI 2. Because if I don't and keep it on all the way to the right, when I hit input, it's going to pop my guide up on DirecTV. And I'm like, God damn it. This little button aggravates the hell out of me. Especially if I want to play Xbox, I have to slide it all the way to the right if I want to play Xbox. If I want to watch regular TV, I have to slide it all the way back and put on HDMI 1 to watch DirecTV. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Marcus, I'm going to ask you directly. We covered all the games on the San Francisco side. Do you want to save from the bye week and leave the guests waiting to see what your thoughts are for Sunday night?
Sure.
Just trying to, that way you're not repeating yourself on the network.
I mean, I don't have to say nothing about the Falcons again. Actually, no, that is the first meeting with the Falcons. We're playing the Falcons late this season. So, yeah. I hadn't even said nothing about the Falcons yet. Except
do you think it's going to be Desmond
Ridder? Let's see what we got here. You got.
I was just leaving that up to you if you wanted to leave that part for your show or not.
No, I mean, I can do it on here. I mean, I could see Desmond Ridder probably being the starting quarterback. I mean, I enjoyed him at Cincinnati. Taylor is just going to be a backup. But, I can't. I think the talk at running back is Bijan Robinson from Texas. I mean, but then you still got Cordell Patterson, too. He's a beast, too. And I hate the Falcons. And Patterson's a good running back, too. And, wide receivers, I mean, you still got Drake London. You got Mac Hollins, Cardero Hodge, Frank Darby, Josh Ali, Scotty Miller. Kyle Pitts is at tight end. Yeah.
Okay, but he's Jimmy Graham. He's really a receiver that's called a tight end.
It's just going to be so weird seeing David Onyemata in a Falcons jersey and not a Rams Saints jersey anymore. And I don't know. No, he must not play for them anymore. I remember when they had Deion Jones, but I don't think he's a Falcon anymore.
Who's that?
I only know of
Deion Jones. No, he's a free agent. Deion Jones is a free agent. I remember when he was with the Falcons, and I was like, God, I have to hate him now. But no, he left the Falcons last year. He played one season with the Browns, and now he's a free agent. Let's see. Then we got the Lions at home. That's where, but it's in New Orleans. If it had been in Detroit, that'd have been cool. Jamal Williams going back to Detroit. But no, let's see. We got Jared Goff. We got Jameer Gibbs from Alabama now. David Montgomery.
St. Brown.
Maurice Alexander. Josh Reynolds.
St. Brown.
St. Brown. James Mitchell at tight end. I remember my dad wanted me to pick him up one week, and I'm like, I will never pick a freaking Lion, especially on Thanksgiving. I'm actually not worried about this one. I ain't worried about this one. I'd like to go watch them play the Lions. It's first Sunday of December, so that's SEC championship weekend. Like if LSU don't go back to Atlanta, if I'm not crying in my sleep that LSU lost another SEC title game, and I wake up and then they struggle with the Lions. Oh.
That'd be brutal.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Lions are either going to take over the North or they're going to completely fall apart now that they got rid of all the running backs.
Yeah, see, the NFC North is open now that Aaron Rodgers is gone, but I'm going to say the Vikings might take the North.
Now, my only worry about the Lions is they got rid of not only Jamal Williams, but they got rid of DeAndre Swift. And
yeah, they got but they got that Jay Gibbs guy, right? Is that the new running back?
Jameer Gibbs.
I don't.
Supposed to be pretty good, right?
He is.
Didn't they cut one of their running backs because he was suspended to begin the year because he was gambling on the Lions or some nonsense like that?
There's a couple people that got caught gambling on the Lions.
I'll never forget that tweet. No, but I'm so mad. There was one year I couldn't go because I had to work. The Saints hosted the Lions on a Monday night, the week before Christmas. I got called into work and I had to give my ticket to my sister's ex-boyfriend at the time, and I didn't get to see Megatron in person, and I was so pissed. Work pissed me off. Like I could have watched them. But then again, I'm glad I didn't go because they thought they didn't have my sisters and them drove. They thought they were smart and didn't think that traffic was going to be a pain in the ass in New Orleans. They left their house. They had 3 hours to drive. They left around 3:30. They missed the whole first half being stuck in traffic. So they only got to sit in the dome for a second half.
That's awful.
I said, I'm glad I didn't go to that game now. I said, I'd have fucking raised hell.
But you probably would have left earlier too, though.
I would have drove. I would have stayed. Well, I would have had to stay sober anyway because I had to go to work next day. I'd have drove. We'd have left probably no later than 12:30 to beat the traffic in New Orleans.
Enjoy some food.
Exactly. I'd have probably left at 10 a.m. Usually the last time I went to a primetime game where they had a night kickoff, I left like at 11 o'clock in the morning. I got there around 2 o'clock.
I'm just curious, do you guys tailgate down there?
No, not for St. I mean, there's some people that might, but it ain't like LSU tailgating. No, everyone goes to the bars and shit. Like it ain't a bar no more. It's a freaking winery. There used to be a pub a block from the dome. It used to be called Happy's. That's where I would go pregame for Pels games and Saints games. It's a winery now. No, I would either go to Walk-Ons, the one Drew Brees owns, or I will go to Dave & Buster's and get shit-faced drunk and talk shit. Or if I want to be more trashy, I'll walk the 2.5 blocks to Bourbon Street and go over there where that's where the Lions fans would have been. Like, if you ever go to a game, no matter if it's what sport, the visiting team is taking over Bourbon Street.
That's like the big thing, right?
When I went to that LSU Florida State game, they had more Florida State fans on Bourbon Street than LSU because all the LSU fans were in the bars or at Dave & Buster's or tailgating. Florida State fans were taking over Bourbon Street. When I went to that Panthers game, the Panthers fans were taking over Bourbon Street.
Can I ask you a question? What has been the biggest takeover of New Orleans you've seen? Whether it was you in person or you online?
In person, I will
either
say
one.
In person, I'm going to say when LSU played BYU opening up 2017.
Okay.
Now, if I would have been in New Orleans for that national championship game with Clemson, I've seen videos and pictures from people. LSU was everywhere, all over the city. They had their own watch parties under tents and everything because they couldn't go to the game. Because like national championship tickets games were just like going to a Super Bowl. Every bar was taken over. Every restaurant was taken over. They had private parties and tents taken over by LSU fans because they were
I'm
playing.
not surprised by that. I find it hilarious that you're both the Tigers and you both call your places Death Valley.
Yeah, but we're the real
Well,
Death
their
Valley.
stadium. You saw their stadium after Katrina, right?
Talking about the Superdome?
I've only ever
No,
been
they-
to
I'm talking about Death Valley. That stadium
No.
was flooded. It was all the way filled to the top.
No. Baton Rouge didn't get damaged. No, the dome got damaged. That the
What
Saints
stadium
had
was underwater?
the Superdome.
No, I could have swore that. I
No,
thought it was
Baton Rouge.
LSU that was underwater.
No, Baton Rouge. No, the Saints had to move to LSU for a few games. The Superdome was underwater. That all the evacuees that were staying in the Superdome had to relocate to the Astrodome in Houston. They were staying there, and then after Katrina, the Saints played half of their games in San Antonio and the other half in Baton Rouge. And that was the only time I've ever seen the Superdome half-ass empty for a football game, because every time I watch LSU, that thing is sold out. But for Saints games, that's the first time I ever saw bleachers and shit. I watched one Saints game on TV. I think it was against the Miami Dolphins because it was Nick Saban's first time back in Tiger Stadium after he left LSU. I thought that game was going to sell out. There was probably only 16,000 people in a 100,000 seated stadium. I felt like I was watching a USFL game or an XFL game.
I've only been to the Clemson Death Valley because my cousins went there for college.
Oh my God. You want to talk about college stadiums? SEC stadiums outside of LSU, I've been to Texas A&M's, Ole Miss, Auburn, Alabama, and I've been to Arkansas. Outside of the SEC, I've been to Oklahoma's, I've been to Texas, I've been to Texas Tech, I've been to TCU's, I've been to Houston's, I've been to Ohio State, I've been to Marshall, I've been to who else I've been to? I'm talking about Power 5. I ain't talking about like I've been to a bunch. I'm trying to go to every SEC stadium. I could have went to Neyland Stadium last year, but I didn't go. I want to go to the Swamp, but I'm gonna probably get my ass jumped over there. I want to go to South Carolina. When I went to Nashville, I almost went to Vandy's because like Vandy's was like right there in downtown Nashville, but I didn't go in it. Shit, what else?
Now, do you try to get a game, Marcus, or do you try and just get a tour?
Either. Gamer. When I went to Ohio State, that was a tour. Like, if I ever go back up there again, I'm gonna literally drive to Ann Arbor. I want to go to Michigan's also.
The big house.
I'm gonna try to go to as many NFL, college, and even MLB stadiums as I can. Like, if I ever go back to like Ohio again, I'm gonna go to Pittsburgh because I want to go to their stadium too. Both of them, the ballpark and the Steelers stadium.
Don't leave out the hockey arena.
I still never been. I mean, I've been to minor league hockey. I've never been to an NHL game in my life, but I've been to like minor league hockey games because we used to have a team down here.
I was gonna say there's no pro hockey team by you.
The closest one, there's two. The closest two to me is the Dallas Stars and the Nashville
That's like
Predators.
6 hours. That's like 6 hours though, ain't it?
Yeah, and I hate every team in Dallas. Nashville's 9 hours, but no, my team is in the freaking West Coast. My team's Vegas. And they lost last night to the
Vegas.
Oilers. I love Vegas. Vegas is the only team I could say I've been with them since day one. Like, since their franchise started, I became a fan. But I've been enjoying. I'm surprised I ain't watching it right now. I should be watching the Stars and the Kraken right now. I've been enjoying that series. I'm about to put it on. See how it's going.
What's the Stars and the Kraken?
That's been I enjoyed that Avalanche Kraken series too. I don't know. I thought they'd be on ESPN. No, the Phoenix. Oh, damn! Denver's beating the hell out of the Suns right now.
Can't
They
Denver wrap it up today?
They must be on TBS tonight. But yeah, they're gonna wrap it up. They're up by 16 right now. With 8:46 left in the game. No, they're on TNT. The Stars were up 4-2, but they got 4:36 left. The Hurricanes just beat the Devils, so the Hurricanes moved on to the conference finals. They're probably
That's
gonna
2 years in a row for them.
I think they're gonna play the Pan. I thought
2 years.
I thought Florida was gonna sweep the Maple Leafs, but no, Toronto won last night. But, okay, who we on
So
next?
we're getting back to this.
Yeah.
So
I
we're
just
going back
talked-
to we're going back to Florida now. Holy cow! I cannot think.
Well, after the
Or is it-
Lions, we host the Panthers again. That's the second time we'll host them. And then we got the Giants after that. Oh, Daniel Jones and them.
Then you're on a short week to the Rams.
Yeah, and that's when I'm gonna invite Melissa on. I just sent you a follow on Twitter, so whenever that week comes, I'm gonna invite you so we can shit talk the Rams. You might even meet my co-host Dylan, and he's gonna shit talk with us too, and he's gonna talk about how horrible that was being in person for the no call.
Me, you could always invite me for the Giants week. I live in Jersey.
Okay, so I might invite you for both. Shit, why not? Hell, if we would have played the Jets, I'd invite you for that too. Everybody hates the Jets. The goddamn Jets. I was thinking that.
Yeah,
line
it's not that you hate the Jets. It's just that the Jet fans are just like right up there with Cowboy fans and
the
thinking
Eagles
they're
fans.
so important. They're so important, and it's just like, dude, get a reality check.
If they're so important, why haven't they won a Super Bowl in like 40 years?
I mean,
Broadway Joe,
like
baby.
they keep talking about how they were so dominant with Rex Ryan, but I'm sorry to tell them this. Like outside of the New York area, the only thing people remember from the Jets, like the last 30 years, is the freaking butt fumble. And it's
What are you
out of
talking
laughter.
about? Sexy Rexy with the
out of
feet?
la- It's out of laughter. It's not like they took it seriously.
The
That it was
last
a playoff.
time. No. Oh, no, I'll let you finish. But keep. What were you saying?
Like and that wasn't even a playoff game. That was like at the end of the regular season. So it's like it's crazy the way Jet fans overblow me over nothing.
No, the last time I remember the Jets being that freaking good was whenever we almost could have played them in the Super Bowl, but they lost to the Colts. That's when they still had like Mark Sanchez and all them, and God, who else they had on that team? Freaking, this was
They're all
2009, 2010. Like Thomas Jones, Tony Richardson.
Was that the Keyshawn Johnson years?
Yes, and then they had Huey Whittaker, Kareem Brown, Justin Keller.
Keyshawn Johnson was in the 90s.
This one they had like
my
Sean,
mom was in love with those Jets with Vinny Testaverde and Keyshawn Johnson and Curtis Martin and
that's when they had like
Chad.
that's when Mike DeVito and they had like Sean Ellis and them on the defensive line and Chris Jenkins. Yeah, all those guys.
Bart Scott. I thought Bart Scott was the mid 2000s teams.
He was on there. He was on there.
Then it became Revis Island, and then they went into obscurity with Mo Wilkerson and the rest of them.
But yeah, and I called it. I was like, "Bro, watch the Saints and the Jets in the Super Bowl." But no, we got even better. We got Manning and Breeze in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Which that was a rainy game in Miami, right?
No, that was when they played the Bears in the Super Bowl. That was a rainy game.
Bears was the
'Cause
rainy game.
And that's when it rained when Prince played the halftime show, and then he started playing Purple Rain. That's when they still had like Brian Urlacher and shit too for the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
And what's his fucking name? The quarterback from Vanderbilt that played for the Bears?
Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler.
Well, we've been at 2:15. We went over the schedule pretty good, I thought. Marcus,
Yeah.
I did not want to go over the whole thing. I wanted you to do some for your show, but we left out a couple games for you.
Oh yeah. We'll make it like really fast. Like I don't. We'll try and make it as quick as we can, but something tells me we're going to probably have a 2-hour show because we're also going to be talking the primetime games also.
Oh, that's fine. I don't care what you guys do. I just didn't want to talk about everything and have people listen again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you'll tune. We were talking about trying to do it Sunday. We'll
Mother's
see.
Day?
Yeah, it'll be after Mother's Day. If not, we'll try and shoot for Monday.
My entire weekend will be filled with Yellowstone, nothing but Yellowstone. So.
Catching up. Yeah, I got 2 seasons left to catch up on.
I've never watched it.
My mom.
Is it good?
My mom.
Oh, I love it.
My mom ultra marathon mode, so she wants to like force through this and then both of the prequel shows.
So Yellowstone's worth a watch. That's what we're saying.
Oh yeah. So I gotta ask Melissa 2 different questions, maybe 3 different questions. When it comes to a favorite character, do you rather John Dutton, Rip, or Casey? And is Beth a bitch?
Rip is my favorite character out of all the characters. I hated Beth in the beginning of season 1 because she was written so unlikable. But then when you kind of get into her storyline, like she becomes like one of your favorite people. But that's also because everybody else around her just becomes so unlikable. Like I remember I started off the show. I loved Monica.
I loved her.
Hot. I loved her relationship.
She could be a Pocahontas if Disney wants to do a live version of Pocahontas.
I loved her relationship with Casey, and it's just the more and more that show goes on, the more I absolutely despise her. It's just like she keeps hating him for being a Dutton. It's like, lady, you're living off everything that you're saying that you hate. It's just like so annoying. So now the question is, what the hell is going to happen with the prequels? Because that's what's going to be more interesting. Supposedly Faith Hill and Tim McGraw are going to be like the leads on the 1883 show, and you get to see Elsa Dutton, who was in the cemetery, and her backstory, and it's just, yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and I'm pissed that he ain't going to return because of his freaking wife. Kevin Costner is not going to return after season 5 because of his wife. So that makes me wonder what's going to happen to him. Is he going to end up dying, or is they just going to?
Supposedly, they're going to keep Yellowstone, but they're going to move it to Matthew McConaughey, whoever the hell Matthew McConaughey plays.
He played in We Are Marshall.
I don't know if he's going to be a Dutton, if he's going to even have it in Minnesota or Montana anymore. It's weird because they said they're going to have 1883 and 1923, which are both out now. 23 is going to have one more season, and then they said there's going to be a follow-up to 1883, which is like 1890 something, and it's going to be about the black guy being the first black sheriff. Then they're going to make another show called 1944, and then they're doing the Yellowstone 6666, which is supposed to be that big ranch in Texas, and then I don't know what else. Like, it's all over the place.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That just circled in my head, but I think I'm calling it a night.
Well, it's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too, and I sent you a follow on Twitter.
I'll look into that as soon as I get my phone charged up again.
Well, guys, I thank you for coming on. I know, Melissa, we were supposed to talk Niners and got a little mixed up with our guest. But, we made a show and we did all right. Marcus, we started an hour and 20 minutes from where we were supposed to tonight.
Oh, shit.
Mark, do you have Peacock? Because they have all 4 of the first channels of, 4 seasons of Yellowstone there. And then everything else is on channels. So
I have Peacock.
It's on Paramount. And then the 2 prequel shows are on Paramount Plus.
I have Peacock because that's where I watch all my wrestling shows, and that's where I've been watching Yellowstone on. Like we just finished, me and my girlfriend just finished season 2 like a week ago. We still got 3 and 4 to watch,
Mhm.
but that's all I'm watching on Peacock outside of wrestling is Yellowstone.
Okay, because like I said, 5 is on the plain Paramount app, and then if you wanted to watch the prequels, you have to get Paramount Plus, which is a separate app.
Yeah,
We are giving all
Paramount
kind of
Plus or
free
HBO
advertising.
Max. Too much. All right, guys. I think I'm calling it. Calling it a night.
All right,
This was
Marcus,
fun.
thank you for stopping by. Melissa, always thank you. I'm glad you're I'm back behind the sticks too. It's been a way too long, you know.
It's been fun. Thank you,
How do they
Adam.
get you, real quick, before we close it down, Marcus?
Well, I'm gonna extend that too because, like, for always, I've always said you can check out. Follow me on Twitter at MarcusElite337. Check out my show, The World Elite Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at World Elite Pod. And now I got a new YouTube show, part of Driving to the Top Productions, called SAT Sports. Follow that on Twitter at SAT Sports 89. But of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel to watch the live streams of SAT Sports. Bingo, that's it.
Melissa?
I am here at Driving to the Sports talking football. You can find me on Twitter and elsewhere at NJ49IZZY. And hopefully this year I will also be doing a Niners crossover show with some of the big heavy hitters talking NFL each and every week and making draft picks, which is one of my favorite things to do. So I'm looking forward to that.
Let's go. I'm at Sports
Hell yeah.
Talking It. Find me on Twitter there. Also Driving to the Top. Also Driving to the Top on YouTube. And thank you for stopping by. Everybody have a good night.
Brr.